All right. Wait, I don't know. Wait, hold on. Maybe I don't know if the stream went up yet. I'm not sure. I don't even know if it caught that. Did it catch that me going all right? Well, I hope it did. Well, good. If it did, great. If it didn't, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Totally works. If it didn't work out. But hello, hi, hello, anybody that's in here. Thank you for joining early. The rest of our party will be joining us in just a few minutes as our good friends from the John Oakwood channel will raid in and join us for this awesome collab interview tonight. Should be really fun. I was actually doing. Hey, Charlie. Good to see you, Charlie. Charlie's Beats in the chat. What up? And yeah, nice to have you here. Thank you. I mean, a couple people followed in advance of this, in anticipation, I believe, of this spot. So I do want to thank Samba Patty 33 and OK Go Myrtle for the follows just a bit ago. As I hope they get settle in and enjoy our spot with John Oakwood, who is a really fun fellow, and it should be quite a conversation tonight. We were chatting a little bit earlier during our sound check, when the evening began, and it was really quite delightful. And I think we're in for a much more of the same tonight. It should be really solid, I think, overall. So yeah, in the meanwhile, let's just chat together. We can recap what's happened. I hope your Thanksgiving weekend was good if you were in the U.S. If not, I hope your weekend was good otherwise, and we should be ready to roll any minute now. I've been practicing a lot on the piano, maybe too much actually lately, but it's been really fun. And I think what we have tonight is we have a friend in John Oakwood who's a wizard and a teacher. It should be really cool. So let's go ahead and start this off. And we're going to start it about a minute early, but I think we're ready to make the things happen. Here we go, everybody. There we go. Yes. All right. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you all here. This is the Sandwich Show, and once again, we resume our journey of getting to know the streamers and other creators of the internet. And to do that, I'm glad to host this platform, aka the Sandwich Show and Sandwich Q&A portion of the Sandwich Show. Nice to have you here. My name's Davey. It's nice to do the things with you as I've been doing for the last 3.5 years. And it is lovely to have you all here in the chat tonight as we warm up, as I prepare for what should be a really good spot. A couple things to update you on. I'm going to be involved in a couple of really fun holiday music projects. I don't have full information I can give you yet, but it's going to happen pretty soon. I know that Eric for Dane and Friends have invited me to Songception a couple weekends from now. Now, I will not be able to make that live, but I'm going to try to contribute a video for them, a backing like a backing track basically, and then we're hoping it'll be fun. I hope for Dane and Talo and anybody else that happens to be on the call or happens to be on the stream can add to it. It should be really fun. And then there's another project I'm working with our friend Dallas Arlo Music, which I will have more details on once I know them myself. I'm just trying to flesh it out for myself, like what the contributions will be. But it looks like a lot of fun. So some pretty big stuff. So y'all, good to have you all here. Welcome, Rothgar Aurora. And Rothgar says can't stay long, but I want to say hi, Rothgar. Good to see you. By the way, Rothgar, before you go, I want to mention that our guest tonight, John Oakwood, big fan of the D&D experience. So we'll have a good D&D vibe all throughout the evening. But good to see you, Rothgar. Thank you for stopping by. And I hopefully will run into each other in the near future after the stream tonight. We got some raiders. Welcome in, everybody. Let's bring you all in from John Oakwood's channel. Thank you so much for joining us. I predict the riot. I predict the riot. for the raid, everybody. John, how was the rest of your stream? I was sitting in for a lot of it, and it's really nice to have you here. John Oakwood raid, nothing to see here. I saw nothing. But a shout out to our good friend John, who is an awesome musician and our guest tonight, who we'll be seeing. Rocker says, "Ooh, I hope you get into a whole discussion on the merits of Thaco." That's a great Thaco. You know, even like when we've had other people on, like we had the Carrot, we've had Kane Powder. Thaco was a big topic during those shows as well. So yeah, we'll discuss the Thaco for sure. Nope, no Thaco. All right, I'd love to see where everybody weighs in on this. Tina, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate your help tonight. And I know our good friend King, if King's not here already, King will be here any moment now, because we have really fun things happening. So just give us a minute while we situate our friend John on the stream, and then we'll be ready to roll, and it shall be most fun. But Fiddle Dish and Sam B Patty 33, thank you so much for the follows, by the way. And Go Zoidberg, nice to see you. Thank you for the follow as well. And Christine 7, okay, Go Myrtle, thank you for the follow earlier. And Alguina, I appreciate your follow as well. And nice to have you here. This is what we do. We interview people from Twitch and also do other things on the days in between, including playing music and playing games and doing all sorts of nonsense. It's really a good time. And it's not too dissimilar for what our good friend John does. John's always been good for a lot of good conversations and awesome music. I mean, you heard it earlier tonight if you came in from the raid. And folks, if you're in our chat and you have not already been following John Oakwood, follow John Oakwood like immediately. It's a really good vibe. And he's also good pals with Dane and friends Talo and me. Your boy Davey. So oh, yeah, done and done. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if John is on the audio. Can we hear you? Can you hear us, John?
Yes, I can.
Great. Let's see if we got your video. Should be any minute.
There we go.
I see the video. There it
is.
is.
OBS still running, and it was like, what?
So
hi.
Hi. Let me go ahead and get this up. And your video is coming in a little choppy again, but I think that might smooth out in a minute or two. But maybe if there's anything
change
extra
to HD too, because I realized that I'm looking like I'm in like Atari mode here.
But wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I mean,
yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to do that for tonight. Let me actually adjust that too, because I think I had to do that last time we had a guest on, just because I'll fix that. I think it's like that. There we go. Perfect. But yeah, nice to have you here. I mean, we had an awesome conversation earlier. We will have an awesome sandwich tonight. It gave me a little bit of a sneak preview, and I understand you gave the chat a sneak preview too, so you don't want to miss it, folks. It should be a good one. And same for me. I'm really excited about it. And those of you who came in by the raid, by the way, we have a lot of wacky point redeems. Get to know. Oh my gosh, you got to the raid! Holy cow!
Oh my god!
Whoa! For Dane, I'm absolutely. I've never saw this coming at all. Like never even.
Weird.
Unbelievable.
Who's this Ferdinand guy?
Great to have you. Oh, by the way, pump it up. By the way, thank you, Just Streaming. By the way, Just Streaming is joining us on the program in a little bit later. Not that long, just like a week or so from now. So, folks, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I predict the right. I have to go in speed mode too, because I don't want to keep us behind at all. But thank you so much for the raid. For Dane, Talo, Maker, Planet Neutrals, and all the cool people who came in for Dane and friends. Just Dreamin', awesome musician as well. And of course, our good friend Ferdane, who's hosting the next Songception in a couple weeks. So don't miss that. I know, John, that you're going to be co-hosting that with Ferdane. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, that is exciting. It's part of our agreement in getting back the John Oakwood moniker, because he, as you may or may not have known, I can't say he stole it from me, but he acquired it from me in a deal that involved a sandwich, oh,
it's funny,
an egg salad sandwich from a truck stop bathroom. And little did I know, he's like, "I'm John Oakwood now." I said, "What?" So the agreement was that if I hosted a holiday songception with him, he would give me the name back. So I get to be John Oakwood. Yay!
Hey, all right, not bad. By the way, shout outs to Maker Plays for Dane and of course our good friend Just Streamin'. And I do want to mention, say goodbye to Rothgar as Rothgar heads out. Rothgar says, "Time for me to head out. Have a good rest of the stream and enjoy debating about the merits of Thaco. Tell me more. What do you? Where are you weighing on Thaco? It's a big topic."
Oh, Thaco. Okay, for all the people not in the know, this is a Dungeons and Dragons question. Second edition Dungeons and Dragons, and possibly first edition. I never played that. Had Thaco, which is short for 2-hit AC 0. AC is armor class, and it involves a lot of unnecessary math. You know what? I'm good at math, so I was fine with Thaco. You know, it was like, okay, so you take your Thaco, you subtract the armor class. So if your Thaco is 19 and their armor class is 7, you subtract 7 from 19, 12. That's your target number.
Mhm.
But then maybe you have like a +1 weapon, so that means you add 1 to the roll. So that means you have to subtract 1 to that from that 12. So you actually need 11 on the roll.
Mhm.
But then you might also have a strength modifier that so you can see how complicated it gets. And third edition and beyond has made it much easier. It's just like just add, you don't have to subtract, and then there's a higher number.
Okay, that does sound like a lot of work, but it's kind of on brand for D&D though. Isn't there always something like there's always a journey to everything, including
right?
roll,
Yeah.
including a roll. Like it's just a lot. You know, even if you roll, it's not definitive. Like, well, then you have to roll for damage, and then you have to,
right.
So
I think it was just a clever way of getting people to avoid combat. Like, we don't want to do that kind of math. Screw that. We'll just use diplomacy instead.
Bro, how about what's going on? SR Dim Some Girl. Is that on your song list, John? I would love to.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a song by the Notorious MSG. I guess they're a rap band from the 2000s.
Okay.
And that was their ballad. It's fantastic. It's
phenomenal.
So silly.
Yeah. Shout out, Rohomo. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. I'm glad you made it tonight. By the way, I mean, the movie everybody's talking about is Wicked from the last couple of weeks. It's been out in theaters for about a week and a half. I finally saw it. It was very good. And if any of you've seen it, great. I love it. Obviously not relevant to this conversation, but if you did see it, I hope you enjoyed it as well. But yeah, it was great. And by the way, how was your Thanksgiving weekend, John? I know. Oh my gosh, we have a friend here. Hello there.
Yeah.
Nice to see you
again. He was clawing my leg, so I had to grab him.
Aw.
Because when he does that, he's like, "I'm gonna jump," and he doesn't jump. He just digs in and pulls himself up.
Mm-hmm.
So I often have scars on my leg. So
a beautiful kid. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, my Thanksgiving weekend was glorious. It was my school takes the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off, so I got a 5-day weekend.
Wow.
And I get to spend it with all kinds of family, and I also had a day where we played Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
And then I got one day where I got to do nothing, and it was glorious. It was everything I imagined it would be.
I understand you're in the teaching profession, and to have a day where you literally can do nothing has got to be an amazing, that's an awesome day. I can imagine.
During the school year, those are very hard to get.
Yeah.
Very hard to find. But that's why we have summer break. So it's like, it's glorious.
That's always been interesting to me. Like I have other family who have been in school, and it's always so interesting. Like, does everybody get that day that time off? Like, besides the teachers, like, do the staff get it off too? Like, I always wondered about that. Like,
so no, not really.
Okay.
The like custodial staff and all that, they're all summer. They're doing all the stuff they can't do during the school year, like buff the floors and do repairs and paint and all that. And the administration, principals and all that, they're there all year.
Wow.
And that's why people say, "Do you ever want to be a principal?" I'm like, "Nope." Immediately. Nope.
Yeah.
Make more money, but I don't want to dedicate all that time. Summer is kind of one of the big perks to being a teacher.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, as you mentioned, it's a ton of work. I know anyone I've known who's been in teaching, it's an unbelievable amount of work. So we are so grateful to you. I mean, it's been said many times, but many ways. But we appreciate you. Like, it's wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And in the time that you're teaching, you also have time left over to do things like this. Go on Twitch and be a musician and do musical things. What was your journey? Like, we ask the question, what was your journey to Twitch all the time? But your journey must be really interesting because you do have a full time profession more or less, right? It's a full time. You're a full time teacher. Okay,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So have you before Twitch was a thing, before there was the music platform of Twitch, what did you do to feel out your vote, to feel out to feel out your interest in music, to play music, to express music, record music even in certain cases?
See, well, this goes back to the year 2000 when no. Well, actually it does because in
Mm-hmm.
actually it was 1999. That's the first time I joined a band. I was 19 years old,
Nice.
and just a couple of childhood friends who lived across the street from me in the house I grew up in were like, "Hey, we formed a band." And I had moved away like 20 miles at that point, but
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Do you want to be in our band anyway?" I was like, "Yeah." So we played for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years straight. People went to college. Some of the lineup changed a little bit. And then we started getting full time jobs. And then it became more and more scarce. Like we would do like almost like a reunion show every 3 or 4 years. But I've been playing nonstop, not nonstop. Like, I've taken breaks here and there. But since 1994, basically, I started taking lessons. And I don't know, music has been a huge, huge hobby of mine. And just a love that I look for any opportunity to play. But when the band opportunities sort of dried up because of, as I said, careers and people having kids and things like that, I just I would do solo shows wherever I could get them. But the problem is I'm was not super motivated to go out and look for them. If they fell into my lap, I'd be like, sure, I'll do that. And on more than one occasions, I've done a show for like chicken fingers or something.
Oh, no kidding.
And then and I mean, I'm not like, oh my God, I don't know. I didn't know my worth, I guess. And I was just imagining somebody paying a musician like $50 an hour. I was just like, that's insane. I love doing this. That no, how about yeah, we'll just do it for a meal or something. But then I realized, like, wait a minute, maybe I should take advantage of this a little bit, because
Yeah.
then that's when people are like, oh, do you want to do this charity event and this charity event? And I found myself doing a lot of those. It's like, this is fun and all, but man, it's a lot of work to lug this gear out and do that.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, chapter 12 of this story goes to Twitch. So in 2020, when COVID hit, that's when I was like, oh my God, I don't know, just sitting alone in the house made me go, what have I been doing with my musical life? I've just fallen into my career. I need to get that music out there and start writing and start recording and all that. So that was kind of like the midlife crisis moment for me. And
Hmm.
it wasn't until 2022, late in that I discovered Twitch. I knew of Twitch, but I thought it was just video games.
Right,
So
right, right, for
we got
sure.
together and we played on like Google Meets and things like that. Not music, but like board games
Hmm.
and D&D and things like that during the pandemic. And then in 2022, I stumbled upon a streamer named Arcus.
Ah.
So I found him on YouTube. Actually, he's a speedrunner, just like Nintendo games, and I love Nintendo games. You can probably tell by the pixel art, and there's like 400 of them over there.
Oh
But
my gosh, it's amazing.
so I saw that he was on Twitch and I was like, wait, I can watch this guy live. Okay. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You can interact with him and he chats with you. And it's like, wow, this is pretty neat. And then I discovered that there's a music category and went, wait a minute. So I clicked on the music and somebody was playing and singing. I'm like, hey, I can do that. So then that's when I went, you know what? I'm going to try that. But I psyched myself out for like 6 months because I wasn't sure what the heck I was doing. And I still don't know what I'm doing. I still got to work on sound quality and I got to get a better camera, all this.
Hmm.
But in June of 2023, I just went, screw it. I just started streaming. And I didn't tell anybody about it. Like nobody in my family knew, nothing like that. I just went on and I said, I wonder if I could just make friends naturally on here. And amazingly, yeah, people just started showing up. I think it was like Frankly playing Paisley Print who discovered like one of my VODs or something and they popped in and said hello. And I'm like, oh hi. And then that was weird because I hadn't had anybody in the stream, so I didn't know how to respond to people. And I don't know, it just I just made sure to play consistently from then on until now, and I have loved every moment of it.
We've been glad to have you as part of these moments too. By the way, this comment for Dane and friends. John Oakwood is rocking it without the bells and whistles. I wish I could be him when I grow up. That's awesome. Um,
And I would counter, I wish I had your bells and whistles, Free Dane.
touche. Now, here's the big question I've had probably since the beginning of getting to know both of your channels. Like, how did you both cross paths? When did that first happen? What was the story behind it?
So Free Dane may tell a different version of this,
Mm-hmm.
but um the first time I met Freedane is he raided into me and I was like, and I mispronounced. I'm like Freedane and friends. He's like Freedane and friends. I was like, oh, okay. And star-crossed lovers, yes.
Right.
Leave out the doomed to die line though, because that's scary. But yeah, and so I was like, oh, hello, and I followed and said, I'll check out his stream. And then he was streaming, I think it was Rocket League or something, and I popped in and was like, hello. And then you're like, oh, hey, John Oakwood, what's going on? See, he says you raided me first, but that's not true. You raided me, and then I raided you. Maybe I was your first raid, but you raided me first.
Huh.
That's what I remember, at least.
Yeah. But Dane says he was my first raid. Pop my cherry.
Yeah, you never forget your first raid. So
You're
probably right. He made a clip. Okay.
You never forget your first raid. Yeah. I made a clip. Yeah, you made a clip. Nice. Recorded and logged. I feel like most people's channels have that. Like they have a clip of their first raid, right? Like it's totally indelible memories. It's pretty cool. So that's great though. That's really cool. And then you both have been tied to the hip for a lot of your time since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've collabed together, and you even collabed in person, which was great. They had like everybody in the room had the Stitch the Stitch headwear. That was great.
It's my background image on Twitch too. Me and Pork Roll Bob and Freedane and Friends.
Now that's
Taylor was there too. She was making the cookies and running the stream and making sure it didn't collapse and stuff.
I love it. Hey, I am Odyssey. What's going on, Odyssey? Welcome in. Shout out, I am Odyssey.
Hey.
Welcome in, friend. Yeah. Now your enthusiasm for Stitch from Lilo and Stitch is obvious. Obviously, you wear the headgear almost every time I see you. And is it one of your favorite Disney movies? Like, what is it about Stitch that you particularly enjoy?
Good question, and this is going to shock a lot of people, but I saw it once.
Mm-hmm.
When did it come out?
It was like 90s.
A very long time ago.
It was a long time ago, like a long time ago. Yeah.
And I liked it. I was like, oh, what a cute movie. I liked it. I don't use the word cute often either, so that's high praise.
Yeah.
But the reason I wear the Stitch hat is that I had a friend who he went to Disney in Shanghai and bought this hat, or his girlfriend bought it for him, and he was like, I don't know that I'm ever going to wear this hat that has these ears going up, and I don't think it's really practical. So he's like, hey, would you wear this hat? And he met me. We were in Chicago. I just got off the train, and he's like, would you wear this hat? I'm like, hell yes, I'll wear that hat. And I wear it all day. And he's like, cool, it's yours. And then when I started streaming, I was like, I don't know, need a little bit of a gimmick, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'll just wear this Stitch hat and see if that, I don't know, appeals to anybody or makes me more memorable. And it was actually like, I need a redeem. What's my first redeem? It'll be you redeem and I do this. So then, I ended up wearing different hats every stream, but then I just settled on this one. I was like, this is the best one. So
that's effective.
So yeah, it's not really related to my love of the movie necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of like, this is the hat for the stream. And then Carlo, the stream scribe, bought me this. We put it together when I went out and visited him. And I've got another one down here that Alguina purchased for me.
It's two of them. That's nice.
So yeah, there will be a Stitch collection in this room probably in the next year or so.
That's fantastic. I love it. I'm Odyssey says Lilo and Stitch 2002. 2002. Wow.
2002. Wow.
It's a bit ago, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. A little longer than I
thought. But that great story though. Like, and that's always cool. Everybody's got their thing, right? Like, it's always interesting to know how people's like identities are formed, and it's surprising how that can happen. But I guess me and sandwiches is kind of like, I guess that's a fairly obvious one. So there's no real mystery behind that. But a lot of people have that. Like where does some people are identified with the banana, some people are identified with
Nick Black music.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Black music and Banana Army, right? So it's really cool to see like how that happens, and it's way fun. By the way, some comments in the chat. For dances, okay, wait, but let me go back. This is great. You've probably heard this before. Fredane says, legally he's part of my family now, and good luck getting out, John. He said the house on fire, and he got he got on like a house on fire. And Fredane says he set the house on fire as he left, cackling and shaking his butt all the way. Oh man, I missed this story. I missed that. Well, Is John going to sue the live-action Lilo and Stitch remake for copyright infringement? That's a fair. I didn't even know about that. They have a live action, or is that coming? Is it coming later? Like,
I believe it is coming. Yeah, I've
right.
heard about that. And I don't. I'm not a big fan of the live action movies, the Disney stuff. It's sort of like, oh, this was better as a cartoon. But anyway.
Yeah. Not all of them hit, right? Some of them
yeah,
hit.
right.
You know? But Ferdane says a radioactive sandwich bit you and turned you into a muscly sandwich man. I love it.
A muscly. Oh,
muscly
you. Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
So like Popeye had spinach, I have sandwiches. That kind of works. That kind of works. Yeah. But that is really great. Let's go ahead and get into the thing, and as we do, we'll talk about your musical interests, your musical favorites and things like that. The stuff that you do on stream, and I feel like it's very much true to yourself. But as we do, let's first bring on our staple of the program. We can do this over a sandwich.
Yes.
That means it's time for get ready for it. Sandwich of the week. Oh yeah, it is that time again, friends. And we've heard the rumblings about this sandwich. John, I'm gonna give it to you. What sandwich do you have for us tonight?
So I before my stream started, I went and I made it's a sausage egg McMuffin, basically.
Ooh.
A little egg with sausage, piece of cheese, and what do they call these? English muffins. There we go. So
they look good.
Made a couple of those.
Homemade. That's awesome. Like, that looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Would you believe I had one of those this morning? I went to McDonald's and got one of those as well.
Nice.
So, but your homemade one looks really good. Like, it looks like it's bigger and better. Like, that's a pretty good one. All right. So,
thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Had by Apple, thank you so much for the follow. Dr. Gamer Plays and Planet Neutral, thank you for your follows as well. Sampiece is cold now, though. Well, I mean, I think the thing with breakfast food is that you can kind of have it a little bit cold and it's okay. Let me show you what I did. This is a little nuts. So I was kind of struggling with an idea. And then I said, well, what if I just went and got some meatloaf and then made a grilled cheese meatloaf? So it's like, this is a meatloaf melt. I made this meatloaf melt tonight. And you know what? I'm honestly really excited about it. Like, it looks really good. So let's enjoy. This will be great.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And Freedan has reminded me that I am legally obligated to mention the songception for the holidays every 10 minutes, he says.
Only 12 days away, John.
Yeah, it is only 12 days away. Wow. Is it that soon? It is. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bean, what's going on, Bean? Welcome in. Shout out to Bean Dealer. Give me your meatloaf melt serve. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, I wish I could make like 100 of these for you all. This looks so good. Like, this is such a win. This is a great sandwich. Wow.
Mine is okay. It's only okay because I cooked it. So.
I mean, I guess if you heated it up well, you did heat it up a little bit before stream, right? I think that's what I remember. But
yeah, right after I ended, I went and I nuked it really quickly. Cold McMuffin, OMG. No, it's not quite cold. It's more like lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave, I got a question for you. I know this is usually you're the one asking the questions, but you know how like in restaurants, waitresses and waiters, they play this game. They wait until a guest takes a bite of food and then they walk up and say, "So how is everything?" Do you do that to people when you're interviewing them? You wait until I take a bite and then you ask a question, so they're like,
I never really thought about that. Actually, that's funny. I don't know. Like, it's kind of funny. I didn't even, you just kind of naturally asked a question and you're like, must be pretty good. Ed Banger
also had a McMuffin. Nice.
Pump it up. Let's go. I think I did a pump it up with just stream. I'm gonna give it another. Be fine. Vegemite for me is Sam Patty. Ooh, Samba Patty. I thought we have another raid. Oh my goodness. Does spaghetti taco count as a sandwich? I think it depends on how you make it, though. Possibly. Depends on what the taco's made with, right? But thank you so much for the raid. Let's go bring it in. I predict a riot. I Protect the riot. Thank you so much for the raid, Jazz Simply Me. Now, Jazz Simply Me, such a great heart. An awesome karaoke singer. I mean, you want to get up and groove, this is a good place to be. So give our friend Jazz Simply Me a follow. Thank you so much for the raid. I am Davey. I am a variety streamer based in Los Angeles, California. And tonight I'm with our good friend John Oakwood, based in another part of the United States, and it's great to have you here. John is a awesome guitarist, a teacher, a D&D player, and an NES collector. An incredible, and you mentioned 400. There were only 640 something cartridges released for the NES, so I don't know how many of those include the Tengens, but like that's an amazing collection. That's impressive.
Thanks. I might be exaggerating a little bit. I don't know if it's exactly 400, but it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's at least 300. I know that.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Like, are some of those like ones you had when you in the beginning when you were growing up? Like,
yep.
Yeah.
That would explain why I have some of the rarer ones or more expensive ones, because I got them in the late 80s, early 90s, and just held on to them.
Yep.
And Funko Land, when that was a thing before it became GameStop, that's like when the Super Nintendo came out, the N64. Nobody wanted NES games, so my brother went and bought them all up for $2 a piece, and then I ended up inheriting most of the collection. So I'm the lucky one.
You got ahead of the curve on that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's super awesome. Go Zoidberg with a great question. Does John have a white whale of NES games he's been searching for ages for?
I wouldn't say searching, because you could find it. It's just wanting to dole out the cash for it is Little Samson. That one was released, I think, in 1994, late in the Nintendo's life. And because it was so late, not a lot of people bought it. It kind of faded into obscurity, but then I guess there was such a limited run that it's now like a $2,000 game.
That's
so
usually.
I don't know when I'm going to get that one.
Yeah, if it's in good condition, it could be worth it, right? I just wanted to mention really quickly the sandwich I had tonight. For those of you who have come in for the raid, I should always do this. It's a meatloaf melt. Look at this. There you go. It is really, really good. And John, if you have any of your sandwich left, feel free to share with the class. It does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That looks pretty good. Yeah, nice English muffin, sausage McMuffin, pretty good. Now, what have been like? So, how many of the Final Fantasy games you? Because I know like you're not gonna have all of them. Obviously, they moved on to Super Nintendo later. But I'm just thinking like in those terms, like that covers a lot of ground. Like, what are? Let me see. Another way to put it. Oh, how do you play them? That's what was the next question I had. Like, do you have your original NES or do you have like a newer, like retro NES, like reconstruction machine? Because like I've seen these toasters which do a really good job of playing those games where you don't have to blow into the cartridge all the time. So like that seems like a really good investment.
Yes, I have. Excuse me, I'm drinking a pop too, so of course I'm burping like crazy, but. I believe I have our original NES. It looks like the VCR. You stick the game in, push it down.
Okay.
But in the, I don't know, mid 90s, I bought a top loader, and that still works. So I play that one because you don't have to fiddle with the games as much to get them to work. You just like stick it in, then it's nice and easy. It works. So no blowing in the cartridge and stuff like that. We had all the tricks, like you had to blow in the cartridge. If that didn't work, you put it under your shirt and you blew in it. But then sometimes you push it down, up and down several times, or you put another game in on top of it. Top loader, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
I literally did all those things.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Literally, that's
Half
amazing.
the fun was trying to get the cartridge to work, and that's why I prefer to play with the cartridges, not like an emulator, on the original system.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, half the fun of it. Now, I learned later in life, you just take some rubbing alcohol and you just dip a Q-tip in there and you just hit the connectors and it usually starts right up, no problem. So, like, I didn't know it was that easy.
I don't think I got around to that. That's a great idea. Let me see if I found a photo of it. Let me go see if I can get a better one though.
Nice.
Because I remember seeing these in the stores. For like a hot second, and it was just like Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's kind of too late now. It's just my interpretation at the time. Because like the Super Nintendo's are like, what do I need this for? But but you're right. It actually makes it much easier to play all these games. So let me show you what this looks like everybody. It's a really good idea. If you could find one, if you find even a refurbished one, it solves like 95% of your problems with like playing these games. And John's on here twice. This is exciting. But um, look at that. Isn't that that is a Scat Cat? Good to see you. So
Oh,
that's
other way,
basically
other way.
it, right? This is the one.
Don't
I
mind me. I'm just amusing myself.
I'm tickled that you have double the John for the price of one. It's amazing. But yeah, good call on that. I mean, I don't know when you got that, but that definitely would make it a lot easier. What are some of your favorite like what are some of your most prized games? Like the ones that you're particularly proud of having?
Should I go grab them and show them off, or should I just tell you about them?
It doesn't matter either way. I'm good with either way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to put the stream on hold while I'm busy looking
Mm-hmm.
through my collection. So, prize collections. I have a Tenjin Tetris.
Ooh.
That's that was one that I think it was out for a week or 2 weeks before before I think Nintendo said, "Hey, wait a minute, Tenjin, you don't have the rights to Tetris. Pull all those. We're gonna take it." And so they were like what is that, recalled cartridges, and there were not a lot of them around. So lucky enough that I got that because my aunt bought them at a video rental store that was getting rid of their Nintendo stock. And well, they get games right away, so they had a Tenjin Tetris, and she sent it to my brothers and me for Christmas. We had no idea what it was worth. We're just like, oh, Tetris, that's a fun game. And then later on, we're like, wow, this game's like $50, and then it started going up in price. So that's, I don't know if it's like the rarest one, but because of how we acquired it, it's kind of like one of those, yeah, that was pretty cool that we got this special game just by chance. I I also have the game Bucky O'Hare, which I just bought a few weeks ago because there's a shop nearby me that buys Nintendo collections and then they sell them, and that's one that I've had my eye on for some time. And then when I walked in and saw the price was like reasonable, I said, you know what, I'm gonna pick that up. Reasonable though is still over $100, but
Oh wow.
now it's in the
Okay.
collection. So
That is impressive. Yeah.
I
It does look
think
like a really cool game though, just from looking at the photos of it right
mhm.
now. Like pretty cool. It's like a comic book game, I guess would we would say.
Funny enough, it's one that I've always wanted, but
Mhm.
don't tell anybody. I've never played it before.
Oh.
But it's a rare one, and it's like, oh yeah, for the collector, I want to have it. Now, I say this is saving for retirement when I describe my Nintendo collection.
Hmm.
Some people call it collecting. I say saving for retirement. I mean that in two ways. Like saving for retirement because in a pinch, I've got something valuable,
Yep.
but more so I'm saving the games for when I retire. And I'm like, cool, now that I don't have to worry about teaching, I'm just going to play all these games. So one day I'll get to play Bucky O'Hare.
That's it. You know what though? That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Like you kind of got in on Bucky O'Hare, and there it is. Like that is a very very cool game. Let me simplify this for the audience. I'm just nothing personal, John. I could just keep us both in the same row. But yeah, that's it does look like a dynamite game. But like it might be dangerous to play it right now. Like you don't want to mess it up. I kind of get where you're coming from on that. Pretty cool. So yeah, not a bad call. It's definitely something great about the feel about having the controller and everything else. So pretty good. Let's just step back into music for a little bit though. So I know that when I see you on stream, you really get into like grunge and '90s, but that's not it. Like I've seen a lot of different types of influences in your song list, and I think it'd be fun to explore some of the bands and the groups that you've enjoyed as you got into music, as you mentioned, over the last like 30 whatever it was years
Hmm. Yeah.
that you've been doing music, and who are some of your favorites as you've gone through the years?
Well, I can go back to when I was about 8 years old and go favorite then the next favorite, then the next favorite. So it started with Poison.
Ooh.
Nothing but a good time. That was like the number one video on MTV, and I love that. And then we went to Guns N' Roses. That became the best. Sweet Child of Mine. Oh yeah. But then I had this weird phase where MC Hammer was my favorite.
I mean, he was a big thing back. To be fair,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
huge for like a year. Like, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And then after that, Samba said Pearl Jam. Yes, Pearl Jam became my favorite band in the early 90s. And that is what I've told my first guitar teacher when he says, okay, well, what do you want to learn? I said, I just want to learn Pearl Jam. I don't care. I just want Pearl Jam. I wanted to learn Black. And um, for a beginning guitar player, Black is not the song to want to play. It's very hard to play for a beginner
Yeah.
because it's got bar chords, and that's you got to play for a few months before you can do that.
No, for
But
sure.
then, like later in high school, I got into the Beatles quite a bit,
Hmm?
and I also discovered Pink Floyd. I think my senior year of high school, and went, "Oh, this is the cool stuff," and that kind of gatewayed me into classic rock, and then that became my favorite. And then basically around the year 2002 or so, I just stopped listening to new music, and just focused on everything in the past, and just built my music catalog that way, I guess.
Okay.
So then, if somebody says, "Can you play this song by Ed Sheeran?" I'm like, "Who's Ed Sheeran?" Actually, I know one of his songs, but
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think there's two ways to look at that, right? The one, but the upshot of that is that you get to really get good at like playing all the music that you've already been accustomed to over the years. So that's kind of a nice feather in the cap. So you just kind of hit your spots with like all those songs. That's pretty cool. So, um, but it does sound like even with that, like you do have a really wide expanse of decades and groups and even stuff that you didn't really think about. Like, like like Sneaker Pimps and 600 Grand, like one of the better one hit wonders of the decade, as an example. I know you do What's Up by Four Non Blondes. And
Mhm.
so you definitely cover a lot of the 90s, not just simply the grunge movement, but like a lot of stuff. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if you had Venga Boys in your songs. I never checked, but maybe you do. But I would.
I do not.
Okay, very good. But, but if you did, I wouldn't have been
Chat,
surprised.
who's that? I don't know who that is.
They're the ones that did the Six Flags song.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Fredane says my dad likes John Oakwith set was more than mine.
That just means Free Dane's dad doesn't like Guster. That's all.
It's pretty good. But Floyd, amazing. Led Zeppelin, amazing. I don't know if Led Zeppelin's in your catalog, but I thought it was.
A few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Robert Plant's voice is a little out of my range. That's why there's not a lot of Zeppelin. And
That's
I
fair.
leave Zeppelin to Steggy. He's the Zeppelin master out there.
True. Oh man,
So good.
Steggy. By the way, happy birthday, Steggy. Like, I just want to give a shout
Yeah,
out to our friend
yeah.
Steggy. Like, I'm
Yeah,
really
because I'm
glad he's
streaming right now. I'm sad I can't be there, but
same, same.
I'm
But
happy to be here.
yeah, me too, me too. I'm thrilled to do this, and um, well, let's see if I can do what we can do to just find our way to wish him well. Otherwise, but nice to yeah. But Steggy's always been great. You got to hang out with Steggy at one point. You're collabing IRL with Steggy. That was a really really
Yeah,
great stream. Like,
that
it's
was fun.
yeah. Tell me a little bit about the journey getting into to hang out with Steggy for a stream and do all those cool jams.
So, I can't remember when it was. Probably sometime last November, about a year ago, 1 year ago today. No, but it was something like I popped into Steggy's stream, and he's like, "John, oh man, I wish we could jam together." And I said, "Where do you live?" And I saw, he's got on his profile in Ohio. So I was like, "Oh well, I'm not far away from you, so maybe this summer I'll just come out there." And then Free Dane was like, "Wait a minute, you're driving out to Steggy, you're driving out east. Well, why don't you come a little further and come to New Jersey?" And I was like, "Well, okay." And then Carlo was like, "Oh man, I wish we'd get together." I said, "Well, maybe I'll swing by Carlo's too." And I was originally going to try to get Johnny Hall songs on there too because he's also in Ohio,
Oh yeah.
but he had a child and was kind of busy, so
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
I had to skip that step along the journey. But yeah, then I went to visit Steggy. We jammed. Then I drove up and visited Carlo, and then I came down and visited Free Dane and Talo, and then Pork Roll Bob came too. And there are actually several streamers out in New Jersey, so there are more opportunities to collab with more people out there. So I think
Yep.
I'm gonna make a return visit sometime soon.
I think that was part of the for Dane IRL showcase, if I remember correctly. Like, that was like a thing y'all did together. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Freedane's baby, the songception that he invented,
Yep.
and nobody's ever done anything like that before.
True.
So he will claim. But
I mean,
but
there've been things like it, but I think something with this level of consistency and regularity, I think, is definitely a Verdane creation for real. And actually, a convenient time to mention that Songception Holiday Edition is coming up on
that's right. It's been 10 minutes. I bet I mentioned that again, right?
Only at Verdane and Friends on Twitch. Make sure to follow.
Uh, very good,
Very
John.
good,
Great
John.
advertising. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, but
Yeah.
that's really cool. Like, and so yeah, I mean, you got to get to know a lot of cool people in just a short in like one summer. What a cool thrill!
Yeah.
Like to be able to travel
Oh,
and check out different spots.
it was wonderful. And on that stop too, I got to meet Kevin and BB, Kevin's Cafe Live
Mhm.
too. I didn't jam with them, but we got to hang out and have dinner with them, and it was very cool. And it's strangely surreal when you see these people in real life. You're like, whoa, you're like a real person. This is crazy. And I
Oh
remember
yeah,
that feeling knocking on Steggy's door, and he comes walking up like, oh my god, here he is. So yeah, it's wonderful.
yeah. Steggy's a legend too. Like, and I mean, you both are legends. Like that was really cool to see. Like I saw the vibes because like you both had so much like in common musically. Like it was really great to see that. And that's got to feel good. Like when you can jam out to Led Zeppelin and you know like Steggy's got the vocal covered. That's kind of nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I wouldn't sell your voice short either, though. Like you really kind of hit that growl. You know, you need like a certain growl to play things like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam, and you got the growl. Like that's a good growl. Like, does that just come with you naturally, or did it come over time?
it's over time a little bit. I never was classically trained how to sing. I guess it was just the way I learned how to sing was in choir class in seventh grade when the piano or the choir teacher would just hit piano notes and we had to match it, and that was it. But other than her saying like make sure to have good posture, I didn't know like what singing from the diaphragm was, so I always sang from the throat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've caused enough scar tissue in there that I can just do it now naturally. I don't know if that's true, but no, I've just always kind of from the throat,
Yeah.
and I guess I've built enough stamina that where I can do that and sustain it. So I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too. Keep it rolling. That sounds like that's a fun.
Thanks.
That's a good voice for sure, and it hits your style of
Appreciate it.
music perfect. Like it's great. Some comments in chat. We got the cancer. Oh no. Let me go back here. But Jazz, thank you again for the raid. I know Jazz is really big, has a really big enthusiasm for this program, so it's really nice to have you here too. We're gonna give you all the chance to ask some questions of our good friend John Oakwood, including questions about D&D. Do not hesitate on that topic. We're glad to take any questions about D&D that you got on us.
Right. I am a dungeon master after all.
That is great. And it's a thrill. I imagine you got to love the position you're in to be able to troll people relentlessly when you play. And it's always cool to do. What is that part of the draw for you when it comes to being a dungeon master?
To get to troll the players a little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
I tend to go puzzle based, and oftentimes my players are like, "Oh, not another puzzle," and I just go, but I don't know. I think it's more so I like to share in like a story because that's basically when I'm DMing. I'm like, "Hey, I wrote this story, and now you get to interact in it and be part of it. And how do you like it? That type of thing." I also like knowing where it's going to, having control. That's another reason why I like to DM because I have played in sessions before, um, and I was just sitting there like rolling the dice, trying to keep myself entertained. Like, oh my god, where is this going? This feels like it's never going to end. And so I think I just kind of naturally went, yeah. I'd like to have control of the story so I know how many sessions it's going to be, and I can move things along. And so if I'm going to play D&D, it's got to be with somebody I know already and like close friends if they're DMing cool. But for instance, at my school I have a gaming club and I've had students say, "Oh, I want to DM." And then I'm like, "Okay, I'll play." And I hate to say it, but I regretted those decisions so much. It's like, "Oh my god, I'm so bored."
Oh
Because they're
yeah,
still learning the game and they don't really
sure.
know how it works. And it's like their idea of an adventure is we walk along the street and fight monsters and get loot. And I'm like, there's so much more to the game than that.
Absolutely.
That's if you want to do that, just play Baldur's Gate, like the video game. You can just walk around and murder random people if you want, collect loot, whatever, get experience. But I'm more about the storyline. And like my core D&D group played in 2000, 2001, right when Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings, those films were coming out. And oh man, that was so inspiring. And that's what we were like, this is what we envisioned for our D&D campaign.
Oh, I
Now
love
it
it.
did go off the rails from time to time, but
No, but that's the beauty of the game too, though. It's open ended. Like the path is whatever you want it to be. You're right. Like I feel like your students had some untapped potential there, but maybe they didn't know. Like you can go further.
yeah,
It's like adventure games, but it's actually even deeper than that. Actually, like
totally. Got
yeah,
another raid, it looks
we
like.
do, we do. Firestone Rocks Drums. Thank you so much for the raid. So good to see you, Scott and company. Welcome in. I got a sandwich for you too. I protect the riot. I protect the riot. Yeah. Thank you so much for the raid, Scott. It's so good to see you. Who says, hey, Davey and John Oakwood. Nice to see you. I'm Davey. I'm a variety streamer based in Los Angeles, California. We've had Firestone Rocks Drums on this program before. Great spot. And tonight, we have another awesome musician with us this evening. I do video games. I do video games and music and interviews. Tonight's interview is with the awesome John Oakwood, who is specialized in the guitar and looping and in the 90s. For by and large, would that be right? Like maybe, I mean, it's been a lot of decades, but I think the 90s is definitely a specialty. But
Yeah, it's when I was learning, so a lot of 90 songs
mhm.
on the list.
It's a great spot to be. But yeah, everybody from the Firestone Rocks Drums raid, it's great to have you here. And folks who are here, please follow us, Firestone Rocks Drums. He's a great drummer, folks. You're in for a great time over there. Tampa Bay Bunny says ears up, love it. Oh yeah, ears up. Would you do it for free? Like I don't know, is it a point reading normally?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. It's great to see you too, Scott. Nice to have you here. Hope your Thanksgiving weekend was good, everybody. Those of you in the U.S. And everybody else in our raid, Tina and Jazz and anybody else? Snipers in here. Oh, good to see you, Sniper. Cindy. Welcome in, everybody. Boy, what a wonderful to have you all here. But yeah, but Tampa Bay Bunny loves it. Phenomenal. I think the comment about not having bells and whistles is kind of an interesting comment. I think at this point, it's kind of a nice spot because your stream is so organic. There's just it's kind of like alternative music was in the 90s anyway. It was like not a lot of electronic sounds other than the guitars, right? Like it's a pretty organic sound. And I feel like that's kind of the cool thing about your stream. It's also an organic experience in that way. Like it's not cluttered per se. It's kind of
Well, except for this back wall behind me, right?
no, I mean, sure, but it is like actual stuff. It's not like computer generated stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's
True. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, where do you get these? Where do you get all these stickers or decals? And they're very large. It's rather impressive.
Yes, they are perler beads.
Okay.
Right here. These little things, you put them on a pegboard and then you iron them together. And
Wow.
so I think I went to visit my brother's apartment in I think it was 2002, something like that. And later than that, it doesn't matter when, but he had a magnet. It was Mario on there, made of perler beads, and I was like, I never thought about making Nintendo sprites out of perler beads. That's awesome. So that I immediately went and bought like every color and several pegboards, and then made Mega Man. That was my first one. I was like, this is so cool. And then of course I had to make like the Contra guys, and it just exploded from there. And I've been doing it since. It's actually more like 2008, I think, was when I started. And then, over time, kind of run out of ideas like that Atma weapon behind me with the what I consider the perfect party in Final Fantasy 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm pointing at it or not because yeah, these guys.
I see him.
But
Yep.
once I did the Atma weapon, I was sort of like, okay, now what? Because that was quite a task, and it wasn't until I started streaming and I saw all these emotes and I said, hey, I bet I can make other streamers emotes. And then so I just took little screenshots of them, pop them into Microsoft Paint, zoom in, clean them up, print
Mhm.
them out, and then blah, there we go. And so yeah, they're all things that I made. several of them on stream. Like I used to do Sunday art streams when I had more time, but I may get back to that at some point. But
Yeah.
they're just kind of like fun little activities and tributes to some of my friends on here.
I think if any of you see these up close, you'll see that it's really cool. Like take these beads and basically they're like really advanced pixel art in a way, right? Like it seems
Yeah,
very, very. Oh, there we go. Let's go take a. Yes, that's a
you
great
kind of see
example.
through it too.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Samba. This is not yours.
But
Samba won a prize, and I made coasters like these for her.
mhm.
I just have to ship them. I'm so bad at that. Anyway,
Yeah, but
besides the point.
a really cool like additional talent of yours. Like it's not easy to make that look good, and it does look really, really good. All these look really, really, in fact, very true
Thanks.
to the originals. In fact, so pretty good.
It's best to look at them from a distance
Ah, yeah,
because if you look up close, you can see like the iron marks and all that. But I mean,
yeah.
there's really no reason to
Yeah.
inspect them that closely. So they look cool on a wall or something, or
Yep.
even in a frame in some cases.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I enjoy doing it. It's relaxing, and then it feels like even though they take hours to do, you have this product at the end. You're just like, cool. This is really neat.
Oh yeah. And then so Samba has a request, and let me take the other chat's request too. So, this is the sandwich I had tonight. This is a meatloaf melt. A meatloaf melt. So I took some meatloaf and I got some cheddar cheese and basically made a grilled cheese with meatloaf, and it is amazing, folks. Like this is really good. I put it on sourdough. So there's my sandwich tonight. If you have missed it earlier, there you go. Um, and then a request from Samba: show them my coasters, John.
The coasters are in another room. I can go run and grab them if you really like me to. But they're also in an envelope. I just haven't sent it yet.
Oh, right on. So that's fine. I mean, we can carry on, but hopefully somebody you like them. I imagine they're gonna look amazing. And Brendan, good to see you. Welcome in. Nice to have you here, Brendan. I hope you're having a good night as well. Brendan is also a guitarist on Twitch, and so give her a good friend to follow. Um, so let me see. I hope Brendan Claus makes a comeback. It's just not completely random comment, but have you ever dressed as Santa Claus for anything before, John? Like that's completely random question, but like,
Amazingly, no.
oh
I
wow.
have like this closet behind me is
Mhm.
mostly filled with costumes because I for from about 2009 until 2020 I was a convention goer, like the Comic Cons and stuff like that, and gaming conventions. So I got into cosplay big time,
Mhm.
but I never did Santa Claus. That's kind of amazing.
That's
It's
that's
like
what.
such an easy one too.
Yeah, there's so many choices for costumes, for sure. And Jazz says, "Yum, that's a great sandwich." I know. I saw also. Oh, Taylor says, "Well, that Sammy made me hungry." Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Like, it's really great. Whitefield Boss Fence is interesting show. Well, very nice to have you here, Whitefield Boss. By the way, folks in chat, if you have any interest in unlocking any of our stunts, we have them in the point redeem section. There are a lot of fun things we do um, here on the show. But yeah, John, that's really great. I mean, it's neat to see some of the things you have. Now, who have been some of your favorite? What were some of your favorite concerts? Because in doing music, you probably also have attended concerts too. But are there any that stand out to you?
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. That's amazingly, I didn't start going to concerts till I was about 30.
Okay. Hmm,
So I don't like large groups of people,
I see.
so I avoided them. But it was when I had an opportunity to see Roger Waters of Pink Floyd.
Oh
One of my
wow.
colleagues said, "Hey, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" I said, "Are you driving?" He
Right.
said, "Yeah." I said, "Heck yeah, I'll go." And that's when it changed. I was like, "Wow, that was a heck of a show. I'd never seen anything like that, and I didn't realize what I was missing until then." So some of the standouts, I saw Roger Waters again. I think 3 years later in 2012, I saw him do The Wall, and it was essentially the same show that they did in the late 70s when The Wall came out, and it was breathtakingly amazing and the best concert I've ever been to. So that stands out as the best. But I've seen, let's see, I saw Robert Plant, I saw U2, I saw Guster, I saw The Cure, I saw Weird Al Yankovic, great show, and I got to see Elton John in his farewell tour,
Oh,
and
nice.
Bob Dylan as well, the
Oh,
Rolling
wow.
Stones, so all kinds of good stuff. Because it's I'll only see major bands because like I'm kind of ashamed of this now, but when I was like 18 or so, my friend's like, "Hey, you want to go see Poison?" I was past that phase. I was like, Poison? No, I don't want to see that. But now I'm like, I should have seen Poison, man, when I had that opportunity.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, and some of the ones that you ran down are fantastic, fantastic. You mentioned Weird Al. I love Weird Al. I've been to a bunch of his shows. Like
Yeah,
it's great. Don't. You might think that's silly. No, go see it. Like they're really good. His band and them are
he's so good. Yeah,
for sure, for sure. Um, and then you mentioned Elton John in the Farewell. So I'm glad you got to catch that. Like you said, like it's just like when you get a chance to catch someone, like it's like a moment in time. It's like lightning in a bottle in some cases. So
yeah.
you catch them while they still got their voice and everything, and not while they got their energy. It doesn't always
Mm.
last. So not everyone can be the Rolling Stones, like still kick it like 50 years
Mm.
later, or in their case,
Yeah, they
60
were
years.
80 rocking that stage. It was crazy.
Yo, that's I'm not surprised though. Like they are that good. Like they've been able to take care of themselves all this time. Um, the bands are all touring again here now after COVID changed everything. Right,
Yeah.
right. Because I think the story, the subtext of that is that for a lot of bands, that is like the only way that you can make money nowadays. And so, but it's also fun to do. I can imagine it's
Mhm.
thrilling to be able to still do that after decades of like being in a group. So, um, but now what do we have for Scat Cat? By the way, good to see you, Scat Cat. My favorite was Johnny
Yeah, Scat Cat.
Cash. Wow, with
That's
June,
awesome.
that is amazing. With June Carter and Roseanne Cash. Wow, that is
And
yeah.
indubitably, Brendan, there's nothing wrong with seeing Poison. I didn't mean to call you out there. Poison's pretty cool, but I was a teenager and I was like, I'm past Poison. That's 80s hair metal. That,
Yeah, yeah.
teenagers are stupid. So, it was
Valid.
stupid me.
Yeah. And Scat, I love that. Scat, it was a fantastic concert. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that. Um, Poison was opening for Def Leppard. Wow, that must have been a fun time. Yeah. I don't know what year, I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on what year it was, but that does sound like a fun time. Um, let's see. Sam Basamba says, I have to shut up. Saw so many bands in the 80s. Everyone wanted to tour Australia back
Oh, yeah.
then. Not only
That
that,
makes
but
sense. Yeah.
yeah, but they also had like In Excess back then too. So like
Mm.
even a band from the country, Men at Work from
Mm.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good time. Um
Whitefield Boss Fan 1. Hi, by the way. You never been to a concert? Oof, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. If
Yeah.
if you can, I don't like large groups of people, so it has to be a band or a performing artist that's worth dealing with that. But if you can
Right.
handle that large group of people, go try out and check one out. Check one of your favorites out, and you'll be like, "Wow, this is life changing. It's so cool."
Yep. Um for Dance as a teenager, I resent that. We were all teenagers once, right? Like it's
Yeah, but I look back, I'm like, "What an idiot!" Basically.
That's great. Let's see. Scat Cat says you were talking about organic earlier. They had lights, obviously. What literally standing on stage with a guitar, no fluff, and had total control of the audience. Are you talking about the wall? Because yeah, I've
Johnny
heard.
Cash, I think.
Oh, Johnny Cat. Oh, really? Does Johnny Cat? Oh my gosh.
I think that's what Scat Cat's talking about, at least.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like,
Johnny Cash really was that had that kind of presence. Like I never saw it in person, but I know the stories and
hmm,
that what a privilege to be able to experience at Scat Cat. That's amazing.
right?
Yeah. ACDC were a support band at our local pub back then.
Oh, wow.
Really? A support band? What point of their career was that? Because
That's
like,
funny.
yeah. Um, we used to hope they got off sooner. Yeah. Like, I mean, because ACDC had stuff going on well into the 90s, even. Like, Thunderstruck was like 90, 91 or so. It was surprisingly recent. Yeah. For Dance's Green Day in the Rain doing American Idiot and Dookie in full this year, it brought me to tears. Yes. I heard, yeah, that tour absolutely slayed. Like, I should have jumped in on it, but I heard like it was amazing. Like, I had two friends that went to that tour, like maybe even three. Like, that's really great. Um, let me see. But yeah, it's true. Scab makes a good point. Like, you're comparing the experiences, the intimacy of Johnny Cash in concert versus the theatrics of Roger Waters in concert, which is like such
Mhm.
a 180 of one over the other. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. That's because I've seen, like, I saw Bob Dylan. It was just him playing the guitar. Basically, he had a band with him too,
Mhm.
and it was very low key. Just that was it. No bells and whistles. And then, yeah, the wall was a production. It was incredible. Like, not only did they build a giant literal wall on stage, but they used it as like a projector screen, and you were constantly entertained. It was just like 2 hours straight of just like, wow, what with a break in between. But yeah, I don't know. Other than to describe it as a religious experience, I don't know how to.
Well, I kind of agree with that because everything I see in videos kind of has that. It feels very spiritual in a lot of ways. Yeah. Um, Bob Dylan did reggae when he came here. Nice. Samba says I actually kissed Bob. So Samba's actually referring to a point in AC/DC's career before they got huge, basically. So you remember them that far back. That's impressive. That's pretty good stuff. Yeah. It's a great band. It's a great band. Always has been. EFUT says, did I miss random questions? No, not yet. We're actually right up on the doorstep of it. So we're glad to have you here. Thank you, EFUT. Can we give a shout? Oh, it's already in there. And hi, Ryan. Good to see you. This is John Oakwood, our good friend and
Hi, that's me.
phenomenal streamer. I mean, it's really great to get to know you. Now, you've been on Twitch for now. You mentioned it was like, am I remembering correctly? Is it 2 years, 3 years? You mentioned it
About
already.
just over a year.
Oh, just over here. Okay.
Yeah, August was my stream anniversary. So what's that? August, a
Yep.
year, 4 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. But I think with that, and we can keep talking about this. Like, it's really great to get your memories in your to chat music with you and all of your favorite things and stuff like that. I was going to ask you how have you enjoyed being on stage with your band or with a band back in the day? Like, how do you feel the same vibes like being a performer and performing for people? Like, how'd that experience play out for you?
Yeah, I will say the first time I played in front of people, the first show we ever had with the band, I might have pooped myself a little. I was so nervous.
Oh wow, yeah.
But but I mean, after the first set, I realized how much fun it was, and then just any of the nervousness just melted away. I was like, "This is great." The only time I would get nervous is if it came to me and it was like guitar solo time, and I'm like, "Oh crap, I can't remember the solo." So you'd have to just kind of wing it and do the best you can. But other than that, yeah, it's every time I get on a stage, I'm just like, "Oh boy, this is great." And I sidetracked slightly. Is I saw Vince Gill once, and he said, I don't have an opening act ever because I just like to play longer. And that's how I feel when I get on stage. It's like 3 hours later, I'm like, I want to keep playing, but it's like people are like, okay, we want to go home. I'm like, okay, I understand. It's like sometimes I plan to stream for 2.5 hours and sometimes it goes 4 because I'm just like, oh, throw another song in the queue, whatever. I'll play another one. Why not? So yeah, that's what I say. It's just I do this because it's so much fun, and I don't miss a stream because it's my hobby. It's like if I came home and just sat and played video games, it wouldn't be as thrilling as doing this.
Hmm.
And to have people come in and chat with, it's just even better. So I would play for nobody because I like playing that much, but it's so much better to play for people. Because if you can bring them a little bit of enjoyment too, then it's like not only am I having a good time, but they're having a good time too. It's fabulous.
Yeah. Stand by with a question. Was everybody dancing, John?
was was everybody dancing like when I played with the band or
Yeah, I think that was the
yeah,
idea.
it's depends on the song, but if so, yeah. The
Hmm.
first place we played was like this small coffee house, and it probably fit about 30 people in there, and we had like 80, so there really wasn't room to dance. But anytime there was a dance floor or so, yeah. And in fact, slight story, I remember playing at a bar slash restaurant. It was like one of those 10 p.m. to midnight sets or something like that. And we were playing My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. And it was like our first time on an elevated stage. It felt like so real. Like, wow, this is what a real stage looks like. And two drunk guys in front of me just started fighting. And we're just like, do we just keep playing? So we just kept playing the song.
Okay.
And it was just so funny that they started fighting to My Own Worst Enemy. And so,
That's a perfect song.
so I will say too, I remember like when we played at like this coffee house and all that, we
Hmm.
were on the floor with the rest of the people there. So, and I always use boom mics because it's hard to play guitar when you don't have a boom mic.
Hmm.
But I don't know how many times, probably like 6 or 7 times, somebody would hit the boom mic and it would jam my
Oh
microphone
no.
right into my teeth. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God. Ah. So to play on a stage was amazing. Like, we don't have to worry about this. This is crazy. Love it.
He punches my own worst enemy, all-time banger and great fighting song for whoever is about to get beat up.
Well said.
That's perfect.
And Scat
That
Cat,
needs to
yes,
be
they
quoted.
danced exactly like that. They did the happy dance.
That needs to be quoted immediately.
I like it.
I love it, you Flat. Hey, King is in
hi,
here.
King.
And here it comes, my friend. Behold, the savior of peanut butter. All things crunchy and smooth are safe. Our friend King has arrived, my friend. Good to see you, King. Shout out to King Dan Breaker.
Welcome in, King. My liege.
I'm glad to know that you are the keeper of peanut butter, being smooth and safe. That's huge. It's huge. I feel much better about my sandwiches now. Samba says I'm always down in the front dancing, and still am when I go out. That's great. I love that energy.
Excellent.
That is great. It's so good, that quote. Oh my goodness. That's great. Dapster Dan, I do want to thank you so much for the follow. It's great to see you. And shout out to Dapster Dan. Give our friend Dapster Dan a follow too. So nice to see you. Samba says I love music chat. Well, folks, you know what? Let's open the floor. We did have a question from really quick.
And my axe.
And my
I'm just reading Free Dan and Friends.
Love it. Whitefield Boss Fan 1 asks, you got any project cars, aka car restoration projects? I do not. I can't speak for John. I don't know if you do yourself, but I can say I do not.
I do not. I'm not a big car guy.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I was close friends with the auto shop teacher at my high school, and they didn't really have much funding. So every once in a while, he would send his students down to my classroom and be like, "Hey, Mr. Oakwood, can we borrow your car?" I'm like, "What? We need something to do. We'll detail it." Okay. And the kids would always say, "Mr. Oakwood doesn't take care of his car like we do. Why doesn't he do that?" And he just said, "Well, you have to understand, Mr. Oakwood treats his car like you would a toaster." He's like, "You guys with your toasters at home, do you put decals on it? Do you trick it out? Do you like make it fancy?" He's like, "No." They're like, "No, of course not." He says, "Yeah, because that's how he treats his car. It's a thing that gets him from point A to point B."
Oh, wow.
So it was tough for them to understand that because they're so big into cars. I'm not very good mechanically, and I have so many hobbies, as you can tell, that to make time for that, I just can't. But my brother is restoring I don't know what year it is, a Datsun.
Ooh.
From the 70s, and it's a very cool car. But he's like me. He has so much to do. It's been in pieces for about 10 years now.
Oh, yeah. It's always a journey with a car like that.
Mm-hmm.
It basically becomes part of your life, right? Like, and a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. Like, those cars are awesome. Like, I hope that goes well for your brother.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Another thing I call my car is my CD player.
Bah.
Like, I commute to work in my CD player because that's
it still has
actually the only. Yeah.
It still has it? Oh, wow.
Yep. It's a 2015 with a CD player. I think it was one of the last ones that had a CD player in it.
You know, actually, my car has one too, and it's like a 2016. So it's like the very last year they had them. It's funny. I don't use it. So it's just, I guess that proves the point, doesn't it?
See, I still do. I'm so old fashioned. Like, I'll use my CDs and my rotary phone.
And your stamps and your checkbook. That's good. That's really...
Oh, Scat Cats has a cassette deck. Dang,
dude,
that's really impressive.
Amazing. Well, you win. Scat, that's amazing. That's fantastic. Like, I hope it still works.
Samba's car just sits on the street.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not a bad thing. Yeah. Not the worst thing though. Like, you know, if you can get around without a car, that's actually a good thing. Sniper says gotta go. Have a great rest of the night. Great to see you, Sniper. Thank you for the mod love too.
See you, Sniper.
Good to see you, Sniper.
Take care.
Yeah, Scat Cat says call Scott. King says call shotgun to Scat Cat. I love it. So we have a redeem. One of our redeems here is the starting lineup. So those of you in our chat, if you want to be announced in basketball style, use exclamation point lineup. Just put it in the chat. I'll read your name with all the bells and whistles, and we'll play the music too. Here we go.
I'm looking forward to this.
Let's do it. Me too. Thank you, Ryan, for the redeem. Appreciate you. Oh yeah. Let's go. Do it up, chat. I remember I don't remember when it came out, but I remember the Walkman. The Walkman was pretty dope. Here we go. And now now, the starting lineup for your John Oakwood and Davey's eating a sandwich. Sandwich Show! Leading off tonight, our collab guests of the evening. He's a teacher. He's a guitarist. He's been a part of a band. He's an NES player and a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons. Let's give it up for our good friend John Oakwood! And next in our lineup, joining us from North Carolina, the master of perfect pitch and the leader, still undefeated, of Ryan's Lions. Let's hear it for our good friend, the pianist extraordinaire, Ryan That Flat Guy. And next in our lineup, hailing from the DMV, representing the District of Columbia and all the different parts around it, a good friend to us, one of our mods in our channel, and a mod to many, and the sister of our other good friend, Andrea Cannon Guitar. Let's hear it for our friend Tina French! And joining us next in the lineup, one of our newest members of the Sandwicher community. Welcome to Sandwichville, our good friend, Go Zoidberg. And joining us next, tucked away in grilled cheese corner. King, I gotta show you the sandwich I made tonight. I will in a minute. But representing the great music city of Austin, Texas, one of the awesomest mods all around the Twitch platform. A big fan of music as well. It's good to be King. And joining us next, one of our newest friends here in Sandwichville. Let's give it up for the delicious dish, our friend Fiddle Deuce. And joining us next, from frosty Winnipeg, Manitoba, he'll make you an offer you can't refuse. And a truly good mod at that, wherever you may see him, whether it be at a stop sign or our other friend Jillian Hey X channel. Let's give it up for Stuart Hey. And Rahama with the band command already. I love that. And next joining us, a really awesome part of all of our combined communities, whether it's for Dane and Friends, The Sandwich Show, or our good friend John Oakwood. He is a cool cat, our good friend, Scott Cat! And now joining us also from the DMV, the Arbiter of Old Bay, the lover of Jimmy Eat World, the proud fan of the Orioles and the Ravens and the Capitals. Not possibly, not potentially, but indubitably, Brandon! And joining us next in our lineup, our good friend for the better part of the 3.5 years we've been on The Sandwich Show. Hailing from sunny San Diego, albeit a little bit colder San Diego these days, our good friend, the Troller-in-Chief, And joining us next, representing the Garden State of New Jersey, you'll see him streaming Songception, including the next one coming up on December 15th with our good friend co-hosted by John Oakwood.
It's me.
Good promo. He streams. He loves The Simpsons. He loops. He does layering. He collabs. One of the leading collabers in the entire planet. And you often see him with his better half, Tail of Two Kitties, Let's give it up for Fredine and Friends.
Fiddle-dish, is that a better clap?
Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, your John Oakwood and Davies eating a sandwich. Sandwich show. Brought to you by Songception Holiday Edition, coming your way December 15th, only on Twitch for Dane and Friends. Make sure to follow. They gotta cover us for a few more minutes. Thank you for Dane.
Hey, is that Smarticus I see?
I think we
What's
do.
happening, Smarticus?
A wild Smarticus appears. What's going on, Ho? Good to see you. Shout out to Smarticus77. Nice to see you, friend. Welcome in. Yeah, good job advertising. Thank you, Fredane. I appreciate you. By the way, there actually is another big Fredane event coming up. Just really quick, like I do want to mention, because I know our mutual friends Kevin and B Flat will be there with Fredane and Talo, and I think it's Fredane's birthday stream. I think it's on Saturday, so check that out too if you're inclined. But thank you so much for the redeem, Aoife, and thank you everybody who joined in the lineup tonight. Big time props to all of you. Like, that was great. Great to see so much representation tonight. Whew, my voice is tired. Wow. Okay, so now, thank you very much, Ryan, for that. And now I'm gonna give you all a chance to ask some questions. And remember, everything's on the table: music, D&D, Nintendo.
Just not my social security number or the 3 digits on the back of my debit card, please. Right.
Hydrate for King Hamburger. Thank you very much, King. Okay, I promised King a sandwich. I'm going to show the sandwich. This is it's hard to see, but maybe if I turn this light on, it'll be easier. There. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. But oh, that is not good at all. No, that. Okay, but this is a meatloaf melt, or what's left of it. There you go. Give you a good look at that. But anyway, friends, it is now time for our exciting moment of the evening. And if you want to start asking questions of John, this is your chance in what we call America's favorite moment in Twitch broadcasting.
I saw Rahomo ask, what is your real last name? I will answer that question.
Oh, nice.
It is actually, my full name is Dr. Raymond Luxury Yacht, pronounced Throat Wobbler Mangrove.
Wow. Now you know.
Just kidding. That's a Monty Python reference.
That's amazing.
Free Dane wants to know if I use the Game Genie.
How many
times? Are you ready for this? I'm going to show you on my hands how many times.
Okay.
I've used the Game Genie. There you have it. I have never used.
You're serious? You never used it even once, even to try. Like, no. I'm curious. Maybe if I just push it one. Wow.
No, we didn't. We didn't own one, and I didn't get one until I think I was in my 20s. And then you had to stick it in, and there was this big book, and I was like, "This is too much work. I'll just play the game." So no, I never used a Game Genie.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And we just suffered through and sucked at games, or we talked with friends and learned the Konami code, and then we could finally beat Contra or something along these lines.
There you go. And folks, I see some questions in the chat. If you can use ! Question plus your question, then we'll go ahead and cue that properly. So just make sure everybody's questions get in there.
Oh yeah, I'll let you ask the question. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm reading the chat.
No, but it was a great question though, and I do appreciate you everybody for throwing your comments in there. Jazz, I'm checking to see if your question is in there because it's a good one. The question is, what is your favorite sandwich? It's a great question. I would love to know too.
My favorite sandwich is it's a good old classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the jelly is mostly just for lubrication. Because I would just eat peanut butter sandwiches.
Okay. No. I mean, there's a very potential no context Thursday in there. But no. I get it. Like, peanut butter sandwiches are awesome. Like, you cannot go wrong with a good peanut butter sandwich or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah. Classic PB&J. King called it. Nice. You called it. Very nice.
Yep. King knows.
Yeah. Samba called it too. Apparently, I would knew it would be. There you go.
Mhm.
Everybody. It seems like everybody was on top of this one. That's great.
Oh, Fluffernutter is pretty
Not
close.
bad, Brendan.
Yep.
Not bad. Um, so for Dane, I love your question about the Game Genie. I did use it one time. I just remember when I did fireballs, like just like 100 fireballs. And it was awesome for like a minute, but I didn't actually own it. So that's the only time I used it. Ifat, great to have you here. Keep those questions coming. And by the way, Samba, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you being part of our sub club. And for Dane says, damn, that's real Nintendo power. It really is. Like, that's legit. Not easy to do. Okay, so let's get through. We have many questions, and I love it. We might have a record for like most questions in the queue at the same time. Like 7, I think is quite a bit. So we're gonna roll through these as quickly as we can.
All right.
And you're very welcome, Jazz. I really appreciate your question. If you have another, go ahead and throw it in. Exclamation point question. One question at a time. Just like those McDonald's promotions, one per customer. But once you ask your question, you can get another one in there. So you can ask as many questions as you want as long as we get to it first.
And prices of participation may vary. Just like McDonald's.
Absolutely. Let's see. Indubitably Brendan with the first question. It is, what is your favorite type of wood? Interesting. Oh, because you're John Oakwood. That's right.
Well, I mean, of course it's mahogany. No, it's oak. Of course it's oak wood. And if you're in a certain region, it's pronounced awkward. Sorry, I amused myself way too much with that.
I've heard that line, and it's fun. I enjoy that line too. Hold on a second. Get you in there. There you go. So thank you, Brendan, for your question. Let's get to the next one. This is from Go Zoidberg. And Go Zoidberg asks, when is the last time you went to the beach?
Well, as everybody knows, I don't like sand. It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating, it gets everywhere. But on June 12th, I believe, of this year was the last time I went to the beach, because before I went on my excursion to the East Coast to meet Steggy and Carlo the Stream Scribe and Free Dan and Friends and Talo and Pork Roll Bob and all that, I stopped by the beach to get a small jar of sand just to show Free Dane how much I loved him. That I was willing to endure going in the sand and touching it with my hands just to bring it to him. So that was the last time I was at the beach.
Oh, I love that. I mean, you do it to prove a point, but still, that's awesome. You got to do that. Thank you, Go Zoidberg, for your question. Great question. Next from E Flat. Besides Lilo and Stitch, what is your favorite animated feature film? We got into that earlier in the stream. It's pretty funny. But yeah, what are your other favorite animated films?
Animated films. Okay. Well, are we talking like kids cartoon type films or like anime?
It's not defined. It can go either way.
Yeah, there are so many, but I'll list like 2 or 3. My favorite anime film of all time is called Perfect Blue. It's I don't know if I can't find the right phrase. So it's a mind insert 4-letter curse word. The whole movie. It was like, no, it wasn't quite like Inception. It was even crazier than that. It was almost like if David Lynch wrote a movie that actually had a plot. That's what Perfect Blue is like.
That would be mind blowing in and of itself.
Yeah, it was amazing. And what's funny is that I was not into anime at all. I was just like, nah, it's not my style. Because I watched Ghost in the Shell in my teens, and I just kind of went, it wasn't for me. So I just immediately in my head was like, anime, it's all like that. Mm-hmm. And then I was educated by some of my students. I had a film club for a while, and they were like, we need to watch this movie, seriously. And I was like, it's anime? And after we did, I was like, okay, yeah, you have sold me. This is amazing. Yeah, what is plot? I like that.
It's hilarious.
Perfect Blue, so good. By the way, rated a very hard R for nudity and violence and all this. So if you're like, I'm gonna watch this cartoon, don't watch it with the kids. A more appropriate movie would be Titan AE. I loved that one. It was not a very popular one. It came out in like 2000, and I don't know, just a fun sci-fi adventure film.
I mean,
I feel like I cut you off there too, so sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, I just all I was gonna say was that I am familiar with Titan AE, and it does seem like a really good adventure. So, not bad. Yeah. Thanks for the question, E-Flat. Like, so it was a really because I honestly would not have known how you would have answered that. So, like, that's actually pretty cool to hear your take on that. Pretty neat. Just go.
Now, Davey, are you going to answer any of these questions too?
Um, that's a fair. I mean, sometimes I do. Favorite animated feature film. I mean, to pick one is hard. I guess.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm sure if tomorrow I'll be like, oh, I should have said this.
I think the easy answer is The Lion King because it's just like it had everything together. It was like a perfect, practically the perfect movie.
So good.
Yeah.
I actually teach that. Well, I don't teach the book or the film necessarily, but I teach Hamlet with my AP Lit class, and then we watch The Lion King and we compare them, and so it's fabulous.
Yeah,
I mean, I get to watch it once a year, and I love it.
I think that's a great idea. Like, definitely keep it fresh in your memory. Like, it's a great. The music is great. Like, it's just everything comes together. It was a really good movie. In fact, there's going to be a prequel coming out, the Mufasa movie, like in a couple weeks, and I look forward to it. Like, I mean, as an adult, I don't go to a lot of Disney movies anymore because, like, I mean, I could, but like, it's kind of not really for me. But that one, I would go to for sure because that looks like a good story. Okay. Great call. And then what was the other question? Like the one about the one from earlier. What was the other question? When was the last time I went to the beach? It should be a lot sooner, I would think. Kind of embarrassing if you went to the beach sooner than me. I think it was within the last couple months. I don't know. You'd be surprised.
Okay, then you win. It's all good.
I think I win that. All right, so King, with the next question. Living or dead, which 3 performers would you most want to perform music on stage with?
Okay, so number 1, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I would just like to jam with him. Amazing guitarist. Number 2 would be just the band The Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that counts as 2 and 3 because George Harrison and John Lennon have both passed away, so. But yeah, I think those would be the key. And then I think the third would be Weird Al. He'd be so fun.
That's great. And he seems to be a great team player when it comes to like, he just goes randomly on stage and jams with like other musicians and he just does a great job. Like, it's amazing that you can do that on the fly like that. So y'all would do a great show. That would be a great show. Like, if I would get tickets to that.
So Freedane's calling me out. He's like, "That's 4.5 people." I don't know where the 0.5 comes in. But okay, then Paul McCartney. If I have to choose one Beatle.
Okay. Solid. I mean, Paul McCartney's still with us. I mean, what a wealth of like songs you can select from too.
Oh yeah.
It's a plus or minus 3, says King. But yeah, Smarticus' Weird Al's a great choice. Absolutely. It would be a dream of mine to jam with Weird Al. Like, I would have just been a dream of mine just to say hello to him. Like, now, like, I can actually play with him a little bit. Like that's kind of nice. So that's one. Because it's a really different question. It's not just who do you want to meet. Because like you might want to. I mean, you know that there are certain people that you really look up to musically, but you may not want to jam with them because you're like, you know what, this won't work. This won't end well. I don't think I would do well. I wouldn't keep up. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not gonna like try to compete with like J.S. Bach. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I can jam with J.S. Bach. You're right. That's gonna work out. Like, you know, like I would be useless in that that collaboration. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. Like, who would be fun to jam with is the question, right? So maybe Jared Garcia might be good for that purpose. Just like, it would be just fun to see where it goes. It'd be really entertaining, you know. And I would love to jam with you. Like, it would be really fun to just. We have a lot of music that we know. Like, we would have a lot of common songs. It would be really fun just to jam out to any of them.
Well, then in that case, maybe I'll try to steal some of that songception technology and learn how to do it, and then we can do a little collaboration. Don't tell Freedane.
Yeah, we're gonna get our butts sued, man.
And Scat Cat, he actually uses Sonobus to jam with basically all of Twitch, so pretty cool little thing he's got going there too.
I love that, Scat Cat.
And he says, "And I will." Yes.
I hold the secret. There you go.
I gave away your secret. Sorry, Scat Cat.
I want to jam with all of Twitch, and I will. Amazing. King says, nothing to see, nothing to hear here. Great stream. Let's go right out. Look, it's Sticky's birthday, right?
There you
Okay.
go. Nothing to see here. Nothing.
Nothing to see here. There you go. Oh, I love that. Great timing of that emote. LOL, that for Dane will never know. What a donkey. Call it Singception. Totally different. you know, there's like a thing, and I think you've been on it. Like, there's a running series every month. The New Tune Showcase that Irene Pena kind of started up.
Yeah.
And I know at one point I wanted to make my own New Tune Showcase, and I wanted to call it the Not Old Music Showcase. What a total ripoff.
I love it. You can even just take their logo, cross it off, and put your words over the top of it. Like,
That's exactly
totally
what
original.
I would. That's exactly what I would have done. Wouldn't even have done a new logo. Just completely written over, scribbled over the origin.
You know, it'd be even better if you did that. Is if like I played a song and I just ripped one of Free Dane and Friends' songs and I played it like, yep, that's mine. You're like, hey, wait a minute.
That's actually good. That'd be hilarious, honestly. Like, I would love to see that. Jamceptions and Scat. I love that. Yeah. So now Scat has the complete keys to all collabs in the near future. I look forward to seeing where that goes. So keep me in the loop on that, Scat. I would love to give you a shout out for that when the next one comes. But thank you for the question, King. It's a great question as always. Samba, I didn't get your question. I saw you put something in the queue. Samba, if you can throw that question back in there, I would love to take that for you. So while we wait for that, let's go to Smarticus's question. For sure, it's Popeye Saturday Nights. Nice. Shout out to Scat Cat, folks. Give our friend Scat Cat a follow. I should reciprocate that. Here's his question. Samba says, if you want an overseas trip to anywhere in the world with spending money, where would you choose to go? Hey, Steven, come in.
So many good answers to that. It's tough. I'm not really much of a traveler. I spend most of my money like going to conventions, nerd stuff. But yeah, if I could travel overseas, I would probably go to Greece because I taught Greek mythology and classical literature course for like 10, 12 years. And just to get to see some of the history and the architecture would be incredible. And that's like just where my brain initially went, like that first choice. But there are so many others. I like seeing the wonders of the world. I like to see the pyramids. I'd like to go to New Zealand. It'd be amazing. But yeah, I'm going to go with Greece. That's my answer.
Lots of history there. Great food too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Saba says you get money. Like your money is accounted for, so you can spend money on whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. So like that's a big get. Yeah, that's great. I don't have a real answer yet. I mean, I'm thinking like Fiji. I'm thinking big. I'm like, we're talking most tropical, most remote. Like this is like most beautiful. Like that's kind of my.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Hoax question, aka Smarticus77. Here it is. You mentioned Pearl Jam became a major influence for you as a budding musician. How many different ways did Vedder manage to mumble his way into your soul?
How many different ways? I'm going to say 37 different ways.
Ooh.
I don't know how to answer that. I guess I could answer with Even Flow was the first song that made me go, ooh, Pearl Jam. They're pretty cool. And then I remember my brother got the album 10, and I just went and played Even Flow and went, that was cool. And I hit stop and took it out and put it away. Like I was just a stupid 12, 13-year-old kid. And I didn't think, maybe I should listen to the rest of this album. And then when I heard Black, I went like, oh, who's this? And my brother's like, Pearl Jam. I'm like, wait, that same band? And then I heard Oceans, and I was like, oh, is this Zeppelin? He's like, no, it's Pearl Jam. And I went, oh. And then Release.
Mm-hmm.
Release was my favorite song on that album. So powerful. And then when I heard Yellow Ledbetter, I was hooked. They were my favorite band for several years because of that. So what was that? 4 or 5 different ways he mumbled his way into my heart. And those would be the 5 ways.
That's fantastic. Someone said 37, kinky. Someone that's King. And then somebody asked, well, somebody said in a row.
Yeah, it's 37 is my favorite number because of the movie Clerks.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a reference to that film. It's not a very appropriate reference, so if we want to keep this PG, we probably shouldn't explain it, but
I forgot to mention we can actually cuss on here. I should have mentioned that.
Oh, we can?
Yeah, this is an adult channel. Sorry about that.
Oh, all right.
I sometimes forget to mention that, but So you said it's that thing that you thought was a mind fuck. You can say it's a mind fuck because it was a mind. Probably
Okay,
was a mind fuck.
got it.
Yeah, but I dig it. I dig it. So Turks and Caicos is a good call too. Scat Cat, like that's a good one. Like we can throw that into the agenda. So yeah, people were saying why New Zealand because of the Hobbit. And then
You know,
someone,
honestly, yeah, the Lord of the Rings is
yeah,
mostly why. Because I'd
yeah.
love to see, and it's just the landscape is beautiful.
Mhm.
So it seems like a really nice place. I'd like to check out.
Yeah. Hoax says I'm loving this answer. Had a very similar experience with Pearl Jam. Even Flow was also my entry song. That's great. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Thank you, Hoke, for your question. That's a really good question because I know you have such a deep association with Pearl Jam, so that really does kind of answer some questions for me too. So, thank you, Hoke. Appreciate your question. Let's go next to Stuart Hayek. But Stuart said earlier was regarding the light, like it completely washed me out, and it did. It was kind of nuts. So Stuart's question says, "I have nothing in mind yet, but I feel I should join in." Well, thank you for joining in with that comment. If you do
All
have a
right.
question later,
Thanks.
very helpful. I appreciate you, Stuart. Um,
Do you mind if I sing the chat really quickly?
yeah, let's do it.
That E flat guy. Freezing.
So good.
I like
Uh,
this line when he goes, skip a bop tweed. I don't know. It's skip a bop tweed. That's what I heard. I don't know what he's actually saying, but
I mean,
it's just even flow.
I mean, that's literally what he says. Like it, there might be lyrics here, but that's not what he says. He's just like, hey, Kenny, what's going on? It's good to see you. Kenny's checking in.
Hey,
What's going on here? We have our good friend John Oakwood, and Kenny's also going to be
that's
on our
me.
program in a few weeks. So use exclamation point of coming to find out about that stream coming up later. But great to see you, Kenny. Well, instant Psalm porno soprano, for real. But great to see. Can we give a shout to Prog Rock Piano Bar? That's our friend Kenny's handle. And we'd love to invite you to ask a question too. Exclamation point question. Get you there. But yeah, John, we really have talked about like really cool stuff with the 90s. We've been answering a lot of things. We talked about your impressive NES Nintendo collection. Any other comments in chat? Let's see. Samba says, I've always wanted to go to Kensington, Philly because of Rocky. That's fair. Like, I would love to visit that. Like, I would love to go there. I'd love to go see the statue, you know, like run up the steps. Like, have you ever been able to do that? Like, run up the steps in City Hall? Like,
So funny enough, I wasn't there, but my brothers went on a trip, and um, one of my brothers is a year younger than me, and I have one that's like 6 years older.
mhm.
And the one who's younger than me, he was a smoker, and so my older brother was like, "I'm gonna challenge him, and if I win, he has to quit smoking." You know, we're looking out for him. And the challenge was they had to run, I think it was like a mile, and then run up the Rocky steps and get to the Rocky statue.
Mhm.
Whoever got there first won. And so my younger brother, who was smoking, he was wearing, I think it was like Doc Martin boots, and he won the race. And when my older brother finally caught up, he was standing at the top of the steps smoking a cigarette. Like,
Wow.
that's yeah, kind of a jerk move there. So they got to see the Rocky statue. I have not, but
Okay.
they told me it was very cool.
That's pretty cool. It's a great view from there, too. Like, you saw it in the movie. Like, it's like you can see,
Yeah.
like, the whole city from there. It's pretty amazing. Um, yeah. Psycho Sober says, wait, you're far too chill to be a middle child. Interesting. Interesting. It's a good point. But yet, here we are. It's pretty cool. But let's see. Fiddle Dish has our next question. Let's go right to it. Fiddle Dish, thank you for your question. The question is, why have you never brought me sand?
uh, well, because I don't know. I guess I failed you, Fiddle Dish. I'm so sorry. I'm not
Oh,
going to say something. I know what Freedane is going to be like because he's my favorite. Freedane's my, but no, I can't pick between Freedane and Fiddle Dish. So,
mm.
Fiddle Dish, I will bring you sand at the earliest opportunity. In fact, for Christmas, I will give you sand. I will stay true to that word too.
Ooh. Heard it here first, folks.
I have an extra vial of sand that I got, by the way.
Fiddle Dish. Well, I mean, looks the end. I mean, look, listen. I mean, however you get there, right? It still counts. um, yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry about what happened to Kensington. I guess it sounds like it's falling on some hard times. So That's unfortunate
Hmm.
too. Um, so let us get to the next question, and we'll go to Scat Cat next. I think this is a D&D question. So the question is, what is your go-to race slash class?
Yeah, I hope that's a D&D question
Yeah, me
because
too.
otherwise that's a weird
That's
question.
a very
Like,
strange.
what? Let's see. My go-to race class. I
Okay.
am a boring human
Okay.
because I don't know. I am a human, believe it or not, despite all this stuff. And you didn't have to fiddle with the stats or anything like that. It was just very much nah. And in second edition, humans could be anything. In fact, paladins in second edition, only humans could be paladins, which was kind of weird. But they definitely have changed that since yeah, human. But so I just go with human. It's just the easiest, the jack of all trades, and that's kind of how I am in real life. Like I can do a lot of things okay, but I'm not like the master of anything. As far as class, I think when it comes to playing, I actually started off with liking fighters, just 'cause, I don't know, it was just simple, and you just like you go in there and you fight, and all right. But as I started to role play, I realized that anybody who has intelligence or wisdom or both and charisma are the most fun. So I like to play bards.
I mean, I'm down with bards too. I mean, we have, but the bard is a very entertaining character, and obviously one that's closest to your love for music too. Scat Cat naturally says, "Oh my God, boring." There we go. Bards. There we go. See, yeah, Bards was good, right? Right? Bard was good though, right? Yeah, yeah. Um, go. Swiper says even in D&D, he's pretending to be a human being. That is.
When no, I declare it every time I get a raid. I am a human being from planet Earth. There's a I heart Earth sign in my front yard that proves it because that's what a human would do.
Yeah. Prog. Kenny says any relation to Bart Simpson.
Nice, nice.
Oh man, did you have a cowman? That's next. That's my follow up question. But oh, there you go. That's a great question from Stuart. I love that. So Sky Cat, thank you for your question. A very interesting call for the question, by the way. So, okay, so let's go to Jazz with this question. What's the longest flight you ever had?
The longest flight I ever had was from let's see, Chicago to Colorado Springs, I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I haven't flown very far because I don't really like flying
Mm-hmm.
because I'm one of those people who likes to be in control. And when I get, even in a car, if I'm the passenger, I'm all like, I want to be the one driving because now my life is in this person's hands and it's scary. And I know that pilots are trained and then the statistical safety of planes is quite high, and all that,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
there's still just something helpless about it. Because, like, on the road, your car breaks down, you pull over and you go, well, shit. If the plane breaks down at 40,000 feet, it's not just, well, shit, it's like, uh-oh, we're in serious danger here. And that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to drive places. And there's just something about the journey, too. That being said, if I want to go to TwitchCon or something, I'm probably gonna have to fly because
Mm-hmm.
San Diego is a long way from me.
I gotcha. Yeah. Um.
So what is that about a 3 hour flight? I think something like that.
Yeah. I was expecting a longer answer. Like maybe you'd made it to California at one point or something like that. But I mean, that's still a decent flight. But okay. Now, these follow up questions. Kenny says, was it in a plane or free flying? And Scat asks, were your arms tired after?
Hi-oh. Uh, man, if I could free fly, that would be amazing. I would save so much money on gas.
Yeah, that's true. That's very fuel efficient flying.
Yeah, and I mean, Scat Cat, like it would be tiring to fly up into the air, but once you got there, you just kind of soar and you coast, and then you don't have to flap your arms as much.
Mhm.
And then when you start to lose altitude, you just kind of back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then Samba says, I can't do a long flight anymore unless it's in business class. Interesting.
Hmm.
Um, King says Colorado Springs is pretty high. Nice.
That it is. I think that's a double entendre there because it's high altitude and I believe marijuana is legal there.
Quite right. Yep. All right. So we're moving along. Let's see. Thank you, Jazz, for your question. A great question. Longest flight I've ever had, I think, was the one. I think so far it's just the one to New York. So I live in Los Angeles. Like flying from there to New York,
Hmm.
it was the longest flight I've had
Oh,
so
that's a
far.
long flight.
It's
Yeah.
long. It's like 6.5 hours going back. It's a miserable. It's pretty much like takes up your whole day. Like you can't.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the unfortunate thing about it. It's like you pretty much have to give up one of your days just to travel there and then figure it out from there. Um, let's see. Katie says, I accidentally booked a business class flight for a few months ago. I wish I didn't know it existed. Very hard to go back to steerage. Yeah. Business class sounds like a great time. Like, I feel that, Kenny. I do. Um, Samba says that's a long flight for the same country. Yeah, that's how big America is. It's huge. It's like you fly, and you still don't even. There's some places you can go, you can drive for hours, and you still not get out of the state.
Right.
That's just. Whereas in Europe, you're like you cross like 5 countries by then. You know, like
Mm.
it's just crazy. Um, all right, next question. It is from King Dambreaker. In the whole world, which music venue would you most want to perform?
Mm.
Hmm.
That that's a tough question because I don't have one in mind like, oh, it would be amazing. It would be a dream to perform here. So maybe I'll just go with Wrigley Field.
That's a good one.
I know it's not a music venue technically, but I like the Cubs. I like Wrigley Field. It's beautiful. That or um the Daily Perk from Friends
Oh, Central Perk.
or Central Perk.
That's a great idea, though. Like, that's a like. Think of all the lore there. You know, all the people who've performed, and Gunther, and like serving you like lattes and stuff. Like, that seems it's a great idea. Um, yeah, that's a great question, King. I don't. I kind of. This is a tough question for me to answer. I've been to a bunch of them, and there have been a lot of great experiences. You know, I've seen the one I haven't done is the Forum. Like I haven't seen a concert. I've seen many years ago. I saw a Lakers game, but I was too young to really appreciate it. Um, but I'd never seen a concert at the Forum. I really want to. Like that would be really cool. So when I do, then I have an idea whether I want to like actually do something there. But you know, like stuff like that. I think like maybe Carnegie Hall or
Nice.
yeah, right. Like that'd
Good
be
selection.
Regal. It's very classic. Like it's very classy. I love it. Um,
Scat Cat's got a good answer there.
Scat Cat says I was expecting the Roman amphitheater since he's going to Greece.
Play the Coliseum. That would be awesome.
The real Colosseum. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see. Sama says that's my maiden surname, Wrigley. Not related, unfortunately. Ah,
Nice.
that's cool though. Okay. So thank you, King, for your question. A terrific question. Yeah. Actually, I gotta add one. Kappa Cabana. Like, and I hope you get to be there too. Like, it'd be really kind of cool to see you there. Like, see everybody I know from on Kappa Cabana. There's so many people who have not yet been on that stage, and I'm like, why? Like, they're so good. Like, how is this not happening? You know, it's kind of my how I take that away. Pink Floyd did one there. Oh, is that true? They were at the Coliseum. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they played. I don't know if it's by the pyramids too, or by Stonehenge or something.
Mm-hmm.
I could be making that up, so don't quote me on that.
King says, "Sorry,
But
you're
that's
not
cool.
entertained." That's nice. Um, Stonehenge is actually kind of neat too. Like I hope that actually did happen. I really even if I wish it was true. If it's not true, because like it sounds like a great. It sounds great. Um, so here's Kenny's question. Prog Rock Piano Bar. Follow our good friend Kenny, who is back to stream for a little bit. We'll be seeing some streams in the next few weeks. Um, Kenny says we used to live off of Oakwood Road in Huntington. Any relation?
Oakwood Road in Huntington. Um, well, it's it's a yes or no question, so the answer is no. But I'm gonna say yes. Actually, it's actually Oakwood Avenue and streets are all interconnected, and it's the same road that goes through the entire country.
Oh, look at that. I like it. Good
I
answer.
actually did think that when as a kid because I remember seeing Oakwood and then driving to the next town and seeing another Oakwood. I'm like, is that the same street? It wasn't, but dumb kids.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Kenny's this amazing answer. It is though. It is. Thank you, Kenny, for your question. I love it. It's a good thought-provoking question. Yeah. Stuart Hayek has a question. Here it is. What is your favorite Monty Python skit?
Okay. Immediately, the funniest joke ever written is my favorite.
Oh, that's a
The
good
one
one.
that's so funny that they just die laughing and they weaponize it. It's fantastic.
That's a great call. That's a really good one. Classic, iconic. Um, I like the one where the guy brings in the parrot. The parrot
Oh
is
yes.
that's
This
mine.
is an ex parrot. Oh, the parrot sketch is fantastic too.
So good. Thank you, Stuart. Great question.
Stuart, Stuart missed the answer. You missed my answer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Because it's
I think you missed your answer, which I think was the funniest joke in the world.
yeah, the funniest joke ever written. Because it's so funny the way it starts off. This man is about to write the funniest joke ever, and he starts laughing. He just dies, and then his mother or his wife comes in. And is like, oh my god! She picks up the what she thinks is like the suicide note, looks at it, starts laughing. She dies. Oh my god,
So good.
so funny.
That's brilliant, man. Seriously, it's so brilliant. Kenny
Fighting
says,
for the fuel.
"Thoughts?"
Oh, I love Monty Python. So funny.
It's a great show. Like, I saw a few episodes, but I still haven't seen enough of that show. Like, I want to see the entire series eventually.
Yeah, I have the entire series. I'll just ship it to you. It's on DVD.
Yeah, let's go.
So
Let's go.
it's
Yeah,
probably on some streaming device. I'm not sure which one.
yeah. It would be cool if it was. I mean, either way, it would be really fun to see that show again. There was much rejoicing. Yay!
Yay.
Just one thin wafer. We could go all day.
Bleh.
We
Oh
could
no,
go
I'm
all
sorry.
day. We're gonna go all day with this, folks. I love it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you have the whole series too, Stuart. That's great. Yeah, I should have done that.
Nice.
I should have done it back in the day. I saw that. I
Totally
used to go
worth
to
it.
Best Buy. I would see it. Like, yeah. How long? When did you get your series set, or did you always have it like forever? Because
I remember seeing the whole thing. It's like 16 DVDs or
Mhm.
something, like a big old box. And I remember thinking like, oh man, this is quite a hefty cost because it was like $100 or something like that.
Mhm.
But I knew it's like I'm gonna watch this beginning to end, and I haven't seen most of it because I'd only seen like the show on reruns on Comedy Central or something. So um, after I spent that $100 or so, I was so happy because it was fantastic from beginning to end, with a few duds here and there, but overall, yeah, every episode had something that was noteworthy and fun. So totally worth it.
yeah, Stuart says twit
The
waste.
twit race,
Yeah, for
twit of the year.
sure. Man, it really set the bar for everybody else, honestly, because it
Yeah.
came out way before everything else. Like, it was really good.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. Turn it off. Turn it off. Closed off everything else. Stop my feet. Wait, what do we have here? Um. Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. I'm just double checking to see if these are references to the show or not. But yeah,
Oh.
great stuff. Okay. Yeah.
I love your the Kenny's taunt too, by the way.
The top was great. So good. Thank you for bringing back all those memories, Stuart. That's awesome. Like, definitely, like, right up there, like one of my all-time favorite shows, without question. It was so good. Um, Fiddle Dish with a question: if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Brace yourself, everybody. Okay. I always thought this question was kind of cliche because people would pick, I mean, like time travel or super strength or flight or invisibility or teleportation. Those are the obvious choices. So, um, let me just preface this by saying I worked at the Olive Garden for a year, and there were days when I would just stand and roll silverware for 4 hours straight. So I would just talk to people as they came by because I had nothing to do. And this is a question I asked everybody: what superpower do you have? And they all gave those predictable answers. And I thought, what would be a fun yet practical superpower that's different? So, my superpower of choice is the ability to control other people's bowels. So, that being said, like if let's say you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, you can just kind of think or point the finger at them, and then they crap themselves. And then you can drive along and just knowing, aha, they've been punished for their crime, and I feel good about this. And then I thought, as a teacher, the power I would hold. Because in my classroom, let's say somebody's screwing around in the background. Hey, hey, quiet back there. This is your second warning. Quiet. Don't make me do it again. Don't make me remind you. And then the third time, I'm just like, and they're like, oh my God, Mr. Oakwood, I just crapped myself. Oh, that sucks.
Ah, that's great power. That's like amazing
So,
power.
yeah, I mean, nobody would mess with you because not that it would harm them, but it would be really embarrassing and really uncomfortable all the time around me if you just ticked me off. So, I,
Could be really smelly too.
Mr. Oakwood, I need to use the restroom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a very.
It
I
was
love.
Zoidberg.
I do love this, sisters. I do love your answer here.
Uh,
That's better than anything I could think of. Yeah. I love that sound. But oh my god, you're making me
yes.
laugh so much.
Yeah.
E flat says you could literally scare the crap out of your students. Oh my gosh. King says, "What a shitty superpower, John."
Right. Nicely done.
That's great. Now Sketch's response is, "I'd be invisible, so I wouldn't have to wear pants." But that's not exactly true, because what happens when it's cold? Like, you might still want to wear pants, just have the pants be invisible too. Some food for thought, but I love the idea in principle. Kenny says, "Soup temperature mastery. You can make soup the perfect temperature just by staring at it." Now, is that not a great superpower?
I love it.
I love that too.
I mean, you have a job in a restaurant anytime you want. Like, this soup's kind of cold. No, it isn't.
Your problems are solved. You never have to worry about the directions and when you're cooking soup. That's so good. Let's see. With great power would come a great number of TP. Very true. Let's see. Well, the League of Extraordinarily Inappropriate Gentlemen. Scat Cat with a win. That's good. Samba says, if you are the teacher, you would have to clean it up, though.
No, I'd make them do it.
Oh, there you
go. You
made
that mess. You
Smart.
clean it up.
There you go. Kenny says, you can take a bite out of a sandwich and it instantly regenerates back to its full form. However, it only works for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, you're good.
I love it.
You're good.
That's so very specific and niche. I love it.
You know what? That's your jam. You get, yeah, there you go.
Jam, was that a pun?
Yes.
Nice.
A very telegraphed pun, might I add. Yeah, powers have to be limited. This is fair. Yeah. I kind of like this idea. It makes it more human, much like Marvel. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's like Superman. They're like, oh, we made him too powerful. We got to give him a weakness. Okay, this green rock. There you go.
Like if you just have all the powers, and that's not a very entertaining comic book. So yeah, they had to come up with something.
Yeah.
Some just now I'm crying with laughter. That's great. Goes Zoidberg says, "Does the power work on animals too? John, can you make my dog poop? It's cold and I want to go inside."
Yes, that's how I would make my money.
It's great.
Practical usage.
Yep. Mod scientist. Oh, hello, mod scientist. That works after a couple of grams.
Oh, hi.
Pretty solid. I like Kenny's PBJ power. Actually,
yeah, me too.
You would feed yourself for years with it. Like you never have to when you know that you have instant food all the time. Like it'll always be there. I mean, think of how much money you're gonna save on Jiffy. Like so much money. Like amazing. Your friends would never be constipated again. True. It works both ways. It can be used for good too. Like, you know. Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't go. Now I can. Thank you, John. King says it would give the term "just one bite" a whole new level. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Kenny says the capability to form solid structures or objects made entirely of sandwiches.
Come into my sandwich fort in my living room. Like, what? Oh.
You could have a PBJ mattress. Like that just sounds.
You could have a restaurant. It's made of sandwiches. This is amazing.
It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, except that it's all peanut butter jelly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the E flat guy. That's a really good point.
Yeah. John would be so.
The man with parents. Oh man.
You would make so much money with that power.
Right.
Now that you think of it, you know, like now I think of it. Yeah.
Like put him on the potty.
Yeah.
There. You went on the potty. Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me my $50. All right.
I think I'm. Yeah. Steven Friend. Give a shout out to Steven Friend too, by the way. And Simi says
it's a Steven Friend.
Good to see you, Steven Friend. It's a bit nutty. Austin Powers or that.
Yep.
Let's see. Some Pete. Yeah. Let me see. Samba says, "I wish we never had to go to the toilet. Such a waste of time, or a time of
Waste, was that a
waste."
pun?
Cat, that's good. Time of waste. A time of waste.
Nice.
That's great. Um, but let's see. No, I think that was great. I appreciate. Oh, Efot says, the more that I think about it, controlling anyone's bowel movements truly is too much power for one man. Yeah.
It really is. But I promise I would be responsible with it.
Yeah, I wish I had a pun to add to that. I do not.
Yeah.
But it's quite a amazing thing to think about. With great power comes great responsibility, but I was looking for a pun in there and I couldn't get it. So, let's see. Y'all are making me cackle. Just wanted to mention that. Oh, thank you, Smarticus. Like, all the credit to John. This is a great idea. Like, this really inspired a lot, and Kenny too for the map. Everybody here in chat has come up with
The
some
commentary's been fantastic. That's all I have to say.
100%. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Fellow Dish, for your question. It inspired this entire tangent. I appreciate you. It's great. Great question, my friend. Okay, now to that E-flat guy. The question is, you must answer these questions. 3. What is thy name?
Air of the other side. You see, I know this. Okay.
What is thy quest? And what is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? But follow up. Well, I'm sure you'll have that for me, but there is a follow up to that question. Is it an African swallow or a European swallow?
Yep, that's the correct answer. Because then you psych out the bridge keeper, and he goes, "Oh, I don't know that," and he flies into the bridge or the gorge of eternal peril.
And they just keep arguing about it for the next 30 minutes, and then they just walk away. And then they come back later in the movie, and they're still arguing. That's so good.
Now, if I were to answer that on stream, I would immediately go flying into it in the first question because I go by pseudonym. So if you're like, "What is your name?" I'm like, "John Oakwood." Oh no, that's not my real name.
That's great. Yeah, remember what was the movie where it was like you get 3 wishes and then somebody gave away one like by accident, and I was like, ah, damn it, I used them under my wishes already. Shoot, but I forgot what movie that was. But
yeah, I'm not sure either.
Let me see. Yeah, but E-flat, phenomenal question. These are important questions. You have to answer them in order to cross the bridge. Zoidberg goes over. It says, "More people know you by John Oakwood, so one might argue it is more your name."
Yeah, you might be right there.
Definitely something.
So yes, I'll accept that. Then the answers are, my name is John Oakwood. I seek the Grail, and then African or European.
Pretty good. Okay, so we only have one left in the queue now. We could probably just close with this, but if anyone wants to get one last round of questions, you can. Exclamation point question. Get your question in there for one last. But this will be the last call, so we're gonna just throw this last batch in, and then we'll close it.
Last chance for pie.
Last chance for pie. We'll never know John Oakwood's name. The secret. No one will know. No one will know, except that it happens to be John Oakwood. That's
It's a Scat Cat. He ruined it.
Beat you to it.
I am Ronald Flargans.
Ronald Flargans. Let's go. All right, so here we are. This is the question. My question that I will ask from time to time on this program. And I'm going to give you a choice of one. And mods, feel free to use the exclamation point command for the appropriate food. Of the breakfast foods, which I'm going to give you 4 choices. All right, so John, pancakes, French toast, waffles, or crepes?
Crepes, definitely.
Nice.
Crepes. Yeah, I make them from time to time because like my go-to breakfast foods are crepes and crepes and pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know, it depends on the morning. Like, do I want a thin pancake or do I want a thick pancake? But I find myself choosing crepes way more often because I can fill them with various things. So usually I'll fill one with peanut butter, then one with some kind of jelly, and then maybe with Nutella, and then I end up having like 4 different flavors. It's fabulous.
I hear Nutella goes great with the crepes. That's great.
It really does, yes.
Yeah. That's great. I love it. Kudos to you. Crepes for the Wences Steeman. I think it's a popular answer. Samba says, I bet you don't put lemon and sugar on them though. Well,
I don't. I'll have to try that.
sounds good. Yes, Scat Cat says you can wrap them around sausages. Absolutely. So mods, let's just put that in exclamation point Crips to document this moment. Wrong answer, but I respect it. Well, I appreciate you, Ryan.
I like to say that to people like, you're entitled to your opinion, even if you're wrong.
Yeah.
13 times. Oh, nice.
13 times. And the first to put in the vote for Krebs was our friend Evelyn from Justin and Evelyn. Big fan of Krebs. Nice. Big fan. So thank you for that question. Thank you for fielding your response there, John. Let's get to the next query from our friend King Dambreaker. Question is, crunchy or smooth? And we're going to close the queue now at this point. So thank you again for all your questions, everybody. These are great. Great questions.
Yeah, these were fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, crunchy or smooth?
Smooth.
Cool.
Like, hands down, not even a hesitation. Crunchy's fine, but I think when I was a kid, I preferred crunchy, but now I don't really need my peanut butter sandwich to have a crunch to it. It's just like smooth. Plus, it's just much more satisfying to spread. When you got the crunch, it's like driving on a gravel road. So I'd prefer to smooth spread.
Okay, respect. I'm smooth as well, but I think there's merit for both sides here. And Kenny says crunchy. Kenny's all about the crunchy. All right, I dig it. Samba says, why food again? It's making me hungry. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Should we go back to my superpower and talk about that instead? That's the opposite of eating.
We can fix the hunger problem for you right now. Thank you, King. Great question. And once again, so here we go. Kenny with a question. Here it is. Let me first catch up here. You need some marshmallow fluff with that smooth PB. Ooh, that'd be good. Fluffer Nutter is PB? That sounds like a good idea. Scatcast says crunchy PB is incomplete. If it was finished, it would be smooth. Pretty good. Mod side says crunchy while I still have teeth. See, that's true. Like it takes advantage of your teeth. And Coke says, now I have a mess to clean up on my keyboard after spitting out my drink. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Sorry, Smarty.
My bad. Our bad. Yeah. But we're glad that you're all enjoying this program so far tonight. Like, it's been great. It's been fun for me. It's been fun for us too. I'm really glad to have you all here. Thank you so much, everybody. You all been great in the chat tonight. Okay, so Kenny has a question, and CC from BC, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And A30 Joanne, A30 Jan. I'm sorry, this is a while ago. I apologize. But thank you for the follow as well. But Kenny's question: if you had to choose one song that defines the essence of your personality or life philosophy, which would it be and why?
Oh. My goodness. Oh, this is so tough because it's not even just a what's your favorite song type of question, which I struggle with that alone. My whole personality. Okay, so what's a song that's, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's probably got to be like a parody silly song. I strive to take nothing seriously in life. So even though I write really like poignant, sad music, it's like I'm generally just like a goofy, fun-loving type of dude. So I think You Don't Love Me Anymore by Weird Al Yankovic, because it gets both sides of me. It gets that, like, it's really sad, but it's hilarious at the same time.
And it kind of hits the notes of an extreme song. It's like it's touchy feet, it's really good. That's good. The ending of the song is my favorite part, though. I mean, my favorite part. It's just perfect. It's perfect. You have to listen to the whole thing though. Like, yeah, that's great. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Sam. Sam says, I thought it was going to be a boring series. I'm not sure what that says to me, but I really appreciate that that you enjoyed it. I was dead wrong there. Well, we're grateful for that. Thank you. Like, we're glad to have you. You've been great. Like, your questions have been great, Sam. So thank you very much for joining in. I really appreciate you being here. What song is it?
We're on the right show for good questions, because this isn't like the Channel 7 News morning show where they ask boring questions. No, this is a fun show, so you can get fun questions.
Yeah. And I take pride in that. Like, we love being different here, and we're glad to make you all a part of it. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate it. Glad it. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't wait till it ends either, Davey. Oh no, that's not what you meant. My. Um, you don't love me anymore, so I could play it, and but then this part of the stream would be muted if I did. So, but it's kind of like sounds like the band Extreme, like na 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 na, you don't love me anymore. It's like really, perfect
I knew
acoustic.
that we were having problems when you put those piranhas in my bathtub again. You're still the light of my life. I'm begging you, darling, won't you put down that knife? Stuff like that. So funny.
That's perfect, spot on. That's perfect, spot on. Yeah. Um, Kenny says, "What if you play it really quietly?" We could do that. It'd be like our outro music. Just play it, including the ending. Would be really fun. I probably could put it in the background. That'd probably be fun. Hey Mon, welcome in. It's good to see you. Shout out Mon Samerky, welcome, good friend. Brendan says, "Damn, my time on the show predates the crepes, pancakes, waffles, and French toast question." I wouldn't say that. We've been doing that we've been doing that since the beginning, like since the first week of the show, actually. But what's happened is I've been a little lax in like getting to it sometimes, so I don't always have the wherewithal to remember to ask the question. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So, but actually, that has been part of the show from the beginning. It's just that I've also forgotten to ask it sometimes. So, I think I know. Oh my gosh, Carlo. Oh wait, you know what? When Carlo does this, we know, and then here it comes. There it is. Carlo, thank you so much for the raid.
Hi.
I never. I mean, Carlo. I'm completely shocked. Completely. Thank you so much, Carlo. They're just enough jokes. Thank you so much for the raid. You were just. I predict a riot. I just make sure I'm on camera. I love it. Thank you so much for the raid, Carlo. Welcome in, Stripe Tribe. It's nice to have you here. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm David, a variety streamer based in Los Angeles, California. We've been having a great time chatting with our good friend John Oakwood, who, by the way, has met Carlo in person. That's such an honor.
Yep.
Amazing. I really appreciate it. But welcome in, friends, and horror host Joe. Good to see you. And that's as Carlo's here. Restart the interview. You know what we'll do for you though, Carlo? I'm gonna reopen the queue. I would like for you to add a question, and I guess it goes for anybody in there in the raid. If you would like to ask, Brother Wolf, good to see you. Fluffy Bakery. All the cool people are here tonight. I love it. Horror host Joe. Welcome, friend. Scissorman is here. Wincing, Brother Wolf. Feeble attempt to listen. I love your name. And then anybody? There's one more person I think we had to mention here. Trish Morningstar. Welcome, Trisha. Okay, so pump it up. Yeah, let's go. And thank you, Mond, for the hydrate as well. Both of those, you're a good friend. All right, so Carlo, exclamation point question followed by your question. We would love to get a question. You got to run. Okay, no worries. Carlos has got to run, I'm afraid, but I brought you some lovelies to meet and greet you. We appreciate you, Carlo. Thank you so much for bringing your people in here. It's nice to have you here. Thank you so much. And big shout out to the stream scribe. I think the mods put the link in the chat. Give our friend a follow because, man, our friend Carlo is very talented at the word art and a really good friend. And so just to really just go back to that for a second. And by the way, I'm a variety streamer. I do interviews, I do games, I play music as well. But I also post videos about carnitas if you want to take a look at that. That's on TikTok. But so John, what was it like meeting Carlo for the first time? Like, was it everything you dreamed of, everything you imagined?
There are some people who you kind of have this idea in your head based on interactions like through stream. This person is exactly like this, and when I got there, he was everything I expected him to be. Just absolutely wonderful. Just a great time. And I think we both said it. It was just sort of like, dude, I feel like we've been friends forever because we just hung out for a whole day. I stopped by like the night before, we hung out till after midnight, and then I went to my hotel, came back, and then we spent the entire day together. And I don't think there was like a moment of silence between the two of us. We're just hanging out and bonding over all things nerdy, movies especially. Yeah, he's fantastic. So what you get on the stream is exactly what you get with Carlo. So
I love that so much, and
mhm.
I believe every ounce of that too. Like every my interactions with Carlo have been very similar on on calls and on Discord and what have you. Or you having him on this channel, but I believe every ounce of it. Like he is the kind of friendly face that once you meet someone like that in person, you feel like you've already been friends with them forever. It doesn't even feel like you're meeting. You're not really meeting him. Like you're
Yeah.
just continuing a friendship you've already had for a long time. And I feel that. That's really great.
Mhm.
Um, no, wait, you saw Carlo when you were in his neck of the woods? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Ooh, I love that. Were there any notable foods exchanged during that time?
Oh, so yeah, he brought me to two fabulous restaurants
Ooh.
because it's like one of these, well, while you're out here, and he gave me like six choices and said, "Would you try these out?"
Mm-hmm.
And I the first one we went to for breakfast is called Finally Ours, and there was a story behind it which is fabulous.
Yeah.
And he's like, I kid you not, they give you so much food, and there's like a line out the door every day. And we got there, and sure enough, there was a line. So
Oh
we
wow.
were like eighth in line when we showed up,
Wow.
and we sat down, and he got a mound of food that was like bigger than my head. So it's like you go in there, you get breakfast, and you're eating for the rest of the day, basically. I got French toast with frosted flakes on them there. It was interesting. I don't know if I would get them again, but it was very good and it was unique. So that's a place that if I didn't live so far away, I'm like, I want to go back and see what else they have and try it again. So if I end up out there again, I'm being like, hey, let's go back there. And then we went to uh, Mexican restaurant that's Carla works for actually, and
Oh,
again, it was
oh,
just
right,
like,
right.
wow, this food's amazing. So
Yeah.
and and we got to like talk with the owners and all that. It's just like these are some great people and great food. So yeah, it was absolutely I don't know. That was the highlight as far as food goes in my entire trip.
Uh, yeah. Carlo definitely got the know-how on the restaurants for sure. Um, Carlos has shared the story of like designing menus, I think, for that
Mhm.
particular restaurant. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Very, very neat association. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty great. And I saw horror host Joe's comment. By the way, good to see you, Joe. Hope you're doing all right out there. It's nice to see you. Joe says he can't wait to meet you. Let me tell you, the feeling's mutual. The feeling's mutual. I'm really looking forward to catching Carl. I understand Carlo will be out west at one point. Hopefully, I don't think fingers crossed everything. That will be. But I do owe a trip to their neck of the woods too, because there's some cool stuff to do down there as well, including yeah, no, like it's a very underrated food area. Like the food is like really good in that part of the world. Like that's a big thing to remember. Like anyway, let me see. I can't wait. He's this week. Yeah, for sure, Trisha. Absolutely. Um, okay, so a couple more questions. So yeah, the song you chose for your song I defy to is kind of great. It's kind of perfect actually. Like it sounds right. It sounds right. Like what I've known of you so far, John. I feel like you don't love me anymore is the song that defines you for all the
Yeah,
best reasons.
and it's one I kind of stumbled on because I'm like, how am I going to answer it? I'm like, oh, wait, this is perfect.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
It's sad, but it's not.
It's just such the duality of that is amazing.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Andrea Kane guitar. What's going on, Andrea?
Hey.
So good to see you. Big shout to a friend Andrea. Welcome in, good friend. Um, have a good one, feeble attempt. So nice to see you for a little bit tonight. I hope that everything goes well with the dog. Um, I think dim sum girl defines him. Oh man, there's been so much. This is part of your lore. I understand the dim sum girl. Is this a good song? Is it good? Is it a
Yeah, it's hold on, I don't know how much you can hear. It's like just those four chords the whole song. So it's like,
I gotcha. I think the noise cancellation is muting it, but
yeah,
it's
I'm gonna say.
um but still like I get the idea. Like it's just kind of a very straightforward construction, shall we call it? Like a song.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um John has never eaten a dim sum. Interesting.
That's a true statement. Yes, I have
Interesting.
not.
Yeah. it's a big experience for sure. It's a lot going on with dim sum. There's so many things you can choose from. It's
Hmm.
definitely a lot. I recommend it. Like check it out once, like just try it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um
And
yeah. Let me see. I thought it was a true story at first. Well, Smarticus says, but did a dim sum girl serve you, Davy? I see that I don't know. I'd have to listen to the song. I'll find out.
means when you had dim sum, did a dim sum girl serve you the dim sum, or did you just like have it?
Oh, no, I mean, I don't think I would have gotten it myself. I think they come in carts, so I believe that
Hmm.
is correct. The dim sum girl did serve me. So
All right.
it's true to the song. Yeah. Not bad. Um he's all that in dim sum. There you go, Brendan. That's just great. That's a phenomenal quote. I love that.
Nice.
Um Brother Will says he is a dim sun to avoid dim sun. We just picking this back up right now. This is great. Like this is great. Like I love this. Fabulous. Now here's John with the song. Love your dim sum song cover more than ever.
Thanks, Jazzy.
Love the remastering way that Zoom did for that song. Amazing. The Fluffery Bakery 2626. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Sandwichville community. Nice to have you here. My name's Davey. I'll show you around. Sandwiches are right this way, and our guest John is this way over here. Samba says, I know the story about the song now. At first, I thought it was a tad racist until I read the story. Oh man, okay, this is getting kind of intense. I didn't realize, but the song will never leave John's aura on this platform. I hear that. Everybody's got that song that just kind of sticks with them. It's part of the lore. I don't have anything like that, but let's see. That was a nice, but that really was. It really was. But yeah, great. It's a great question. But yeah, thank you for the question, Kenny. Great question. Let's go to E Flat's question, and this is going to be it for tonight. I'm sad to say, no more questions in the queue. So here it is. We're going to go off with a bang, hopefully. Which is the best breakfast food? Oh no, it's the same question. We did that question. I'm sorry. That was the breakfast question. So you said crepes. Great answer.
I did. What was your answer? I'm just curious. Or do you not answer that on stream?
No, I've answered it a few times. I'm pancakes. Team pancakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Big pancake.
completely fair.
Yeah. And
I'd high five you for that. So yeah.
thank you. But pancakes are the most versatile. It's just hard to screw that up. Like I think pancakes are rarely done badly, and they can be really great. Sometimes they're too thick though. Sometimes they're thin, but I like them all. They're all pretty good. So, Samba says if you read the story of the band, you'll know what I mean, Davey. Oh, okay. I'll check that out. Sounds good. But thank you, friends. This honestly has been a really fun time. John, I know you have a lot going on in your world. I know there's a lot to come in your future. There's a lot to come in your future on stream too. But what are some of the things you're looking forward to as you go into the next chapter of your life on Twitch and your live streaming and doing the other things?
I'm number one. I'm looking forward to upgrading everything, like getting a better camera. I have a mixing board that I'm still trying to figure out how to use. So hopefully the sound quality goes up, and then I'm hoping to get the cool bells and whistles. Like I don't have like a starting lineup redeem like you do. That's freaking cool.
Thank you.
Stuff like that I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring, the drummer for my band, who I still talk to and play with every once in a while, he and I are going to Memphis, Tennessee to record in a studio that Elvis Presley recorded in. So we're going to record a couple songs. I'm very excited about that. We just booked the day, and it wasn't as expensive as we thought it would be because we're like major studio. Elvis, yeah, okay, it's probably hundreds and thousands of dollars an hour. It's like $200 an hour, and we're like, okay, if we jam out these songs and really practice them, we might be able to get 2 done in a day. So that's exciting, and I'm looking forward to that. That
does sound exciting. Like I'm thrilled to see how that all goes down, John. Like kudos on that opportunity. That's going to be really great. And it sounds like the American Abbey Road. That's serious. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that's probably right though. That's probably right. Because like, I know that. I think this is what you're talking about. Like the Sun Studios where Elvis recorded music. Like it's iconic. Like it's just definitely really cool. Like it's definitely cool. But Kenny says, "Okay, friends, I'm off to bed. Have a great night." You too, Kenny. It's great to see you again. And folks, just a reminder: we're gonna have Kenny on the program too. If you want to come on back and catch our spot with Kenny coming up in a little bit, it'll be early next year, January 8th. Don't miss it. Be great. But John, that's great. Keep us posted on all the things. Trisha, thank you for the follow too. Samba says, "Will you walk, drive, or fly there, John? And if you fly, will your arms get tired?"
I responded to Samba. I said, "I'm going to jet ski there."
Oh, nice. Even better. John, this honestly has been a really great time. Thank you so much for being part of this tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's been so fun.
Yeah, likewise. Back at you, folks. Get to know our friend John Oakwood. Exclamation point guest to know more about him. Catch the next stream. Would you know when your next stream is offhand? Like usually your Tuesdays and.
Yeah, it depends on the day because my schedule's all over the place. But I'm going to be streaming late Thursday.
Okay.
I think I can't remember what I put my schedule. 7:00 Central Time or 8, somewhere in there.
Okay. I mean, we'll find you. We'll find you. The fluffy.
Yeah, it's inconsistent, so I can never remember.
No worries. Well, in either case, follow John Oakwood. You can use exclamation point guest to find the link to John's channel. And then you can catch his streams whenever he's on, and it's a great time. Great conversations just like this, too. Like, really lively chat. That's true. Like, it's really cool to see your chat. I think
the fun of it. I love it.
Yeah. Shout out to the mods. Tina and King, great to see you. And Mahoma, too. I saw Mahoma earlier in the stream. Nice to have you all here tonight. Spartacus is... Wait, who is this John guy again? Find out. You'll find out. And you can catch John co-hosting Holiday Songception with Verdane and Friends on December 15th. If you're not familiar with that event, and that would be surprising, but if you're not familiar with that event, you can follow Verdane and Friends for more information. But yeah, big time shout to our mods tonight. Now, the exciting moment where we get to find out who to raid, and I think I have it locked. Let me know if you feel... Fluffy Bakery, thank you. Says, love that Stitch hat. Love it. Yeah. We have lore behind that too. But yeah. Okay, so John, I will offer you the opportunity to offer some suggestions, but I have one as well. But who's on your radar as far as raid targets tonight?
Well, I see Steggy's still going, and it's his birthday.
Yeah.
That's immediately what I thought of.
Let's do it. I don't think we have the time to situate a custom command. Just use the regular raid commands because, but we'll say happy birthday on top of that. So, because I just feel like it's going to be any second now. Like he's going to raid out. So let's go catch Steggy before that happens.
Definitely.
Do it up. Copy the raid calls. Thank you so much. If you missed any part of this conversation, we would love to have you come back. Check the VOD out on our Twitch page or go to YouTube. Davey's Eating Sandwiches on YouTube as well. And look for the VOD of this interview. And we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. We'll catch you soon. We'll catch John soon on Thursday. And then you can catch all our friends on their various channels as the week goes along. So we're going to raid it Steggy Music. Y'all, you've been grand. Thank you so much, everybody. I do appreciate
you all.
Yeah. You all have been great. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's see. You know, one of the great things about this raid that's coming up, hopefully this is where we're doing. Yeah, I think we can do this. Even if it's the last song, I don't care. I think we can do it. It'll be worth it. So y'all, please, can't say this enough. Go follow Steggy when we get there. Y'all, just do it. You won't regret it. He's so good.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. So good night for now. Take care, friends. And we'll be back on Thursday. We'll have our friend Irene playing the music. We'll catch up with Irene on Thursday night here on the Sandwich Show. But y'all been grand. I'm Davey. It's been fun, grand. This is John. And thank you again. All right. We'll see you at Steggy. Go follow. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Y'all the best.
Good night. Have a wonderful time.
All right. Bye. Bye.